Black Oni.
You're now listening to the Black Oni Podcast.
Everything situated for death. Got you over here. We're gonna live stream it as well, so that's
cool.
Fiddling around with the controls. But yeah, man, this is hype.
Yeah, man, I'm glad. Yeah, I was looking forward to this.
Hell yeah. So how you been, man?
I've been chilling, man. Like I said, maybe I should say that for the podcast. Because I'm very happy I got into the goddamn beta after trying for 50 million years.
Gotta love it.
Like I set my whole weekend aside basically just for that, and this shit wasn't working, so I was left basically playing with my dick. I didn't know what the hell to do with this weekend. It was like, shit, I canceled plans and everything.
Dude, there's a lot of people on my list, people that I connect with who said basically the same thing. Like, they took time off for this shit, dude.
Yeah, man. I know a dude that bought a PS4 just for this.
Yes, exactly. My man King Radonov. I'm gonna start the stream.
Yeah,
and then give him a shout out.
All right, yeah, we'll save the good stuff for the stream.
Yeah, so we are live now.
All right,
dude, this is so exciting. All right, so first of all, I want to tell everyone at home, who are watching on Twitch. Thank you for watching on Twitch. I just went live, so if there's someone in here right now, you are on top of shit. I want to take this moment first to introduce my guest. We had two other people lined up to be here. One of them is still en route to getting home because he just bought a motorcycle, and the other is probably still not awake. I'm gonna put him on blast.
Yeah, man.
It's on here. Like, yo, we started without you. So my man
funny.
Tony Polanco, right?
There you go. You got it right.
Yeah, little something. And you go by Death, right?
Yeah, on Twitter and stuff. But I just prefer everybody to just call me Tony. That's just my Twitter name. I'm not, these dudes that go by like a specific handle. That's not me. I'm fucking Tony, okay?
That's perfect. And so I want to take a moment to allow you to plug what you do. I know you work with Koalition.
Yep. All right, so yeah, basically me, I'm a video game journalist. I don't like to call it that. I'm a fucking games writer, and I do everything else. I do podcasts and everything, but my main home is the Koalition.com. I write there. I'm the executive editor, big fancy title, and I do I do all types of writing, news, editorials, all that stuff. I host podcasts. The Throwdown, that's my main one. I also do Throwdown Your Questions, where we answer fans' questions, among other things. I'm always around. You see me on Twitter talking shit all the time.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
So yeah, that's what I do, man. And I do it all. Like the biggest thing that happened for me this year was obviously going to E3, playing all the games, playing a specific game that has a beta right now, which is more stable over there than it was here.
Oh my god. So first of all, I want to express to you my level of jealousy that you got to go to E3. I was informed that I likely could have gone if I actually put in the application to let me and my team go, but I know that I don't have the money right now to fly out and then go to get a hotel and then go.
Yeah.
So maybe next year, but I'm so jealous.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what it is, man. If you don't have money, you're gonna have problems out there.
Exactly.
We're at the point, my site is they pay for their hotel, but I still got to fly out there on my own money,
Right.
So getting that kind of, together is enough, because people are asking me, you going to PAX? I'm like, I would go to PAX if I had fucking money. I could only make one West Coast trip a year.
Right. PAX Prime, man. I need to get my ass out there.
Yeah. I mean, we got people going, but I wanted to go. I've never been. I've been to PAX East. That's about it,
Did you go last year?
Last year I went. This year I didn't, because there was literally 30 inches of fucking snow. It was just impossible.
I'm from here. I live where the PAX East happened. Yeah. So there was snow everywhere.
Yeah, the actual day I was set to go out, it was just snowing. I'm like, all right, nature, I get it. You don't want me to go. But I heard this year was it was just okay, you know.
Yeah, it had some pretty good indie presence, but I don't know, something about it wasn't really the same level of like hype and anticipation behind it amongst like the games that were there and announcements that were made, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Like even last year when I went, it was all right, but it was like a little bit underwhelming. Like I know for me, what I found interesting was because this was back in March, right? Actually, no, this was April. By the way, why the fuck is this thing in March this year? Have it back in April when it's like at least decent weather.
Exactly. They don't give a fuck. That's why it happened.
Yeah, but what I found interesting there was like they had this big thing for Watch Dogs, right? This was April. The game was coming out in May, and you still couldn't play this shit. I'm like, okay, something's going on with this game among all the other things. But yeah, it was like a lot of, like you said, a lot of indie games, a lot of PC games. I'm not a PC gamer. Like I don't have the muscle memory in my hands to play PC games. Like without a mouse and keyboard, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm trying to convince people I'm a gamer. I am an actual gamer. I just want to play this shit. You know,
I want to play on a controller.
You know, for real, man. But yeah, no, I mean it's all good. I still would have wanted to go, but I heard, it was like you already know, like 30 inches of snow and then like sub-zero temperatures. I remember like a couple of days after that, they had this event in New York for Payday and Adrift, right? A couple of guys that went, a couple of the developers that went there, they told me they went to Paxton. They're like, yo, we're from Sweden and this is the coldest we ever felt in our entire lives. I'm like, damn, really? Damn. Yo, got Viking shivering. That, that's real.
It's the worst because once you get in the convention hall, like you're hot because there's like all those people and it's like, and when you go outside, it's literally like you go outside and the air hurts. It hurts you. It physically damages your skin.
Yeah, chill, man. Can't be having that. So yeah, whoever organized this shit, please have it in April again, man. Because when I went, it was nice. We were just walking around, no coats or nothing. Yeah, chilling.
Nah, not this year. Not this time. Actually, I'm gonna put this chat thing over here because that makes more sense. Actually, so I'm gonna jump right into our icebreaker.
Yeah, icebreaker. Yeah, it's talking about ice, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's like a perfect segue. What video game? The original question was different. I changed it up because we weren't going to be talking about one of the things that was initially on there.
Okay.
What video game to you would best translate into a movie?
Ooh, see, everybody knows about the history of video game movies. There are two decent ones. That's it. Not even great ones. There are just two decent ones, in my opinion. The first Mortal Kombat and the first Resident Evil. Those are the only two decent ones that are watchable.
Okay.
Other than that, they've all been like shit. Basically, they've been terrible. So which one would translate? Here's the thing: you got to do it right.
Yeah, but is there a particular game that you think kind of naturally the way its story progressive and like the mechanics would translate well into a movie experience?
Yeah, it's already being in production right now. I'm gonna go with Mass Effect.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think you can actually pull that off as an effective movie because it already feels very cinematic. I would have went with the obvious easy answer, which would be any of the Uncharted games, because those are already Indiana Jones games, essentially. Yeah,
basically, Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider put together.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Mass Effect on this one. I think that would make a really dope movie.
So that's interesting because Mass Effect kind of like its whole appeal is like its emphasis on choice, right?
Yeah, no choice in the movie.
Well, exactly, no choice in a movie. So I'd be really interested to see, like, if they were able to kind of implement some kind of mechanic, like maybe online people can vote for a certain. I don't see how would they do that without spoiling anything in the movie, right?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the wrong way of thinking about it. It's like, okay, this is a movie, this is a game. Don't worry about trying to make the movie like a video game. Worry about making the movie a really good movie. This is why comic book movies finally took off, because they weren't trying to replicate the comic books. If you try to replicate the comic books one for one, it's going to be a really dumb movie, as we've seen in the past. If you try to just make a great film and keep the core characters and the universe together, you'll be fine. So don't focus on like the choices. Just focus on making the world of Mass Effect translate well into a movie,
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair. Now, one thing you probably remember about me is that I'm a huge Metal Gear fan.
Yes.
And there's been a Metal Gear movie being in the talks for a very long time, but I'm not going to use that as my answer because I get nervous thinking about a Metal Gear movie.
Yeah, so do I, man. Really I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Because people at home, you might know this. But Metal Gear is an extremely long game. And if you try to condense the experiences that happen in the game into like a 1.5 hour movie, you're going to get stuff. Wait, Wash Kate is in the chat. He goes, Skyrim as a TV series, the same vein as Xena. Okay, all right. So
that would be interesting.
That would be interesting. So Skyrim as a movie, that's pretty cool. I was going to go with God of War because God of War, in a way, of course, is very cinematic as well. And that's kind of an easy answer too, but I would love to see that world realized in like a movie atmosphere, you know?
Yeah, now I'm thinking about the Clash of the Titans remake and how horrible that was.
I didn't see that. Oh, man.
Yeah, it was bad. I'm watching this. I'm like, they're trying to be like God of War, but just failing in every instance, you know?
Oh,
now, going back to Metal Gear real quick, here's my thing. I'm not really too much worried about the way they condense the story. I'm more worried about how they translate some of the weirdness of that game. Like, you would have to, like, cut it out almost completely, you know, because some of that shit won't go over right. You know, like, dudes sneaking into cardboard boxes and having stomach problems and stuff, you know?
I was just thinking about Johnny. I was like, how would they do that? Because, like, they would, in a scene like that, it would have to be rushed because they don't have that much time. So, like, no one's going to get it.
Exactly. You have to just make it, I don't know, it's like, because it's a serious story, but it's also kind of, you know, has those silly moments. So they may have to get rid of all the silly moments and just keep it, like, straight. You know, but then again, even the actual story itself is where it's like you have this guy, your main dude is essentially a clone, you know, all this other crazy shit with Liquid Snake. Because I'm going to assume they would adapt the first game, you know?
Or maybe Metal Gear, the original Metal Gear.
Yeah, that would be crazy if they do that. You know what would be cool? If they adapted the first Metal Gear and make it take place in the 80s. That would be something, you know?
I think that's probably, well, I mean, I don't want to say that's what they will do, but I think that makes sense because the first game took place in the 80s, did it not?
I actually...
Or was it the 70s? No, it was the 80s.
Actually, the game came out in the 80s, but I think in the actual game itself, I think it actually took place in the 90s. You remember, like, the first Metal Gear Solid took place in, like, 2000 something.
Yeah.
Even though it came out in 1998. But yeah, I think it would be cool if they do, like, a throwback thing, because to me, Metal Gear always works best in a Cold War type of setting. So maybe they would go back. I would personally love it if they do, like, a Snake Eater, because that's my favorite game of all time.
Dude, Snake Eater was so good. Oh, my God. Go back to that. Dude,
I'm telling you, man.
That game was amazing. I'm gonna stick with God of War, but I would love to see them give some love to Metal Gear, like in a really like poetic, like awesome way. Like like I just said, I'm terrified because if people get exposed to a Metal Gear movie and it's their first time ever experiencing anything Metal Gear related, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" Like,
yeah, you gotta be real careful, man.
Yeah, exactly. And so. That was a good icebreaker. I like that one.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. So we're going to go into the gaming news. We used to have a segment in here dedicated to new releases, but there really haven't been that many new releases.
Nothing, man.
And in addition to that, people can always just look up new releases if there's something that piques their interest. Nothing I saw necessarily was like, oh my God, we got to talk about it. So
I like how you say pikes their interest.
Yeah.
you never said that before, have you? It's peak.
Pike. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, there's ways you can say different words that don't make sense.
Yeah.
English, whatever.
That's funny, man.
So, what have you been playing lately?
All right. Like you said, this summer's been dead. I haven't played shit until the Street Fighter Alpha, the Street Fighter 5 beta. And I almost didn't get to play that either because, as everybody knows, it opened up on Thursday night and nobody was able to get in. Like maybe one or two dudes were able to sneak in somehow, you know. And I've been trying. I finally got in. I was gonna say Saturday, but technically it was Sunday morning, you know, because I got in at around like 4 a.m. or something.
Oh, I was not awake.
You know, yeah. So like basically, I just stood at that screen, the infamous press any button screen, just pressing any button until I finally got into shit.
Yeah.
And it was cool. I mean, like I said, I played at E3 already, so I already had a little bit of a feel for it. But the thing is, now with this one, I actually got more of a taste for it because they changed things up a lot. A lot of like my standard combos. I've been playing Street Fighter since Street Fighter 2, like in the arcades when I was a kid,
right.
You know, after school and stuff. But so some of my like, you know, my bread and butter combos were not coming out. Like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
So I was talking to one of my friends about it. He's like, is it better or is it worse? I'm like, it's different.
Yeah.
It's not better or worse. It's different. Like Charlie, for example, he's completely different now. Like he's barely even a charge. He's not a charge character anymore.
He's not a charge character, right?
Yeah, he's not a charge character. But then the weird thing is Chun-Li, like, you know her, and I know I butchered the names of the moves, but you know the 100 kick move she does where you use press kick a lot? Kicks. Lightning kick is different now. It's just a Hadoken with a kick now.
Yeah, I remember. I'm still confused as to why they still have her projectile a charge move then, because she should be a mobile character. She should be in your face, you know, and spacing. Ah, man, I don't know.
Yeah, in Street Fighter Alpha, her move was like a half circle forward punch. That was how you did her Hadoken.
Oh, okay.
You know, but yeah, in this one, it's back to being a charge move. Her spinning bird kick is a charge move as well. Bison, he's still more or less a charge character.
Okay.
And they got rid of ultra moves. They, like, you know how you did a move with like 3 punches or 3 kicks? They got rid of that. Now you just do like a double motion with 1 button. And that's it's not an ultra, it's just a super move. It's back to being the way it used to be back in the other games.
Right. And so do you play on a PS4 controller or do you play on an arcade stick?
Nah, you don't have a choice. You have to play on a PS4 controller. This is the beta.
Oh, they don't... Wow.
Yeah, because I got, you know, me, I've never been, even though I played in arcade, I was never too good with arcade sticks, but I've always had a fight pad, you know? Like back in the day, my thing was the Sega Saturn controller because I had 6 buttons on the face and 2 on the top and the D-pad. So every time I get into Street Fighter, I always buy a fight pad that's reminiscent of that. So I got a Hori one. Hori, by the way, shout out to Hori. They make great fight sticks, you know, arcade sticks, all that stuff. Okay. I couldn't use it on this. I could use it in the Ultra Street Fighter 4, but I can't use it with this, which kind of sucked. You know, because the PS4 controller, as great as it is, I always say the PS4 controller is the best controller we have out there, but no PlayStation controller has ever been good for a fighting game. None of them.
You don't think so?
No, I really don't. Like for a 2D fighting game like Street Fighter, I don't think any of them have ever been good.
I've gotten very good with them, but I broke a little bit, and I pre-ordered an arcade stick. And like you, I'm not that good with an arcade stick. Like I'm not like, you know, pro mode, but like I've used them before and it's satisfying to use them. So I was like, I want to see what all this is about. I'm going to review it and like let people know, coming from a person who plays on PS4 controllers. I play all my fighting games on PlayStation controllers. What it's like doing that. So I think that's going to be really interesting to experience and also kind of share with people.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I'm looking forward to that thing. I want to hear what that's all about.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard, man. I'm telling you. I'm like pretending I'm pressing the buttons, so like just to like get myself used to it. I'm like, this is fucking weird, man.
That's funny.
Yeah, but
yeah. Aside from that Street Fighter, that's all I've been playing. Like you said, nothing is out. Like I've been catching up on comic books and anime. Like now because I haven't had time for that shit because there were so many games coming out. Now it's like, hey, no games. I'm gonna catch up on that shit. And then nothing's coming out for me until probably Metal Gear next month. You know,
oh my god,
waiting for that, boy.
Wait, so I want to hear more about your impressions on Street Fighter V because I, like you, I pre-ordered the game. I had been trying to get into the beta since Thursday at 9 o'clock. I was there literally as soon as it was 8:50. I was sitting there pressing, trying to get it on, and it was nothing was happening. I tried every day since. Haven't tried today yet because it's Sunday and I've been working all morning. So
the struggle, man. The struggle.
It's so fucking real. Have you gotten into an online match?
Okay, check this out. So I got to play 2 times, right? And they both ended the same way. I just got disconnected. So first time, I didn't get to any online match. I was playing for like a good 20 minutes, nothing. It was just me in training mode. And that's how it works. Like, after the game gives you like a brief, like, hey, this is what the beta is about, blah, blah, blah. You pick your character, you know, you go to character selection, you pick a character, and you pick your opponent, and you just, you know, wail off against them. One thing that sucked about it was command list is there, right? It's literally right there, but it's grayed out. Which I'm like, hold on, you just have a brand new game with people with brand new moves. How the fuck are you supposed to figure out what you have to do here? Right. You know? So, I mean, if you're old school Street Fighter, you just do every single motion you possibly can until you hit one.
Exactly.
You know? So that's how I figured out what everybody's super move is. But again, it was just trial and error because you didn't know what the hell you're doing. And then everybody has V triggers, but at the same time, it's like, what do these do? You know, like. Because everybody has a different V trigger. Like with Ryu, it kind of makes like he does counters like Street Fighter 3, right?
Parry, yeah.
Yeah, like Nash, I think he like teleports Bison, I think it like makes his moves a little bit more powerful. Birdie, it makes him slower but more powerful. And with Cammy and Chun-Li, I don't know what the hell it does for them. It just gives them like lightning fists or something. I don't know what's going on there.
I think for Chun-Li, it gives her like double hits. So anytime she like does a Hadoken, it hits twice. Anytime she does a like a regular attack, it'll hit twice. So like if she jumps in at you and like hits you once, it'll hit you twice so that she can continue the combo going further.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. So yeah, I did that for a while, and then I got disconnected. And then I tried again around like 4 a.m. just before I went to bed. I'm like, let me just give this a shot. And then I got in for like another 20 minutes. That seems to be the cutoff point. But this time I actually got to fight against people.
Wow.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, like I fought against 4 guys. Only 2 of them were to completion. The other 2 times, literally just disconnected. You know?
My God. So who do you like playing as the most so far?
Well, I mean, right now, obviously, I'm going to go with Ryu, even though he plays different now.
Really?
A lot of my moves, a lot of the like I said, a lot of my combos from back in the day don't work anymore because I always used to come in with like the strong punch, and then I would do it again on the ground and then do a Hadouken. That shit doesn't work anymore. But it does work with the medium punch, but it's a little different now. You have to come in with the medium punch, crouch medium, and then you bring that into Hadouken. I noticed that his crouching medium links into everything, so I've been using that a lot. And as far as the matchmaking goes, like I did the first round, the guy beat my ass, decidedly beat my ass, and then I played another guy, I beat his ass. So I guess I'm even now,
You only got 2 real matches in.
Yeah, although I think I may have won the second match because it was lagging and the guy didn't know how to compensate for that, but I did, so I beat him up like that, and we were both Ryu at that point.
Okay.
And the first guy was Nash. The reason I think I lost that is because I didn't know how to. Nash is different now. I'm like, I don't know what to do against this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how to defend myself against him.
He's got good combos.
Yeah, that match was pretty stable. The second one was pretty, and then the third one I got in. It started off pretty well. We were both kind of even, and then the shit literally just kicked me to the main menu of PSN, completely took me back to the XMB. I'm like, damn.
Right, wanted to get you the.
Yeah, shit. It wasn't even like oh, you've been disconnected. It's just like you're gone. That's it. Damn. But aside from that, I love the way the game feels. It feels a lot tighter than Street Fighter 4. And Street Fighter 4 was already a pretty tight game to begin with. Yeah. But this one feels even tighter. And then to me, as an old school Street Fighter guy, I like the fact that the camera is pulled back a little bit, so the characters are a little bit smaller. I felt they were too big in Street Fighter 4. I know it's a weird thing to say, but remember, I'm an old school head, so I'm used to them to be a specific size.
Yeah.
So having them
think
big,
about that.
Yeah, you notice it. Like I'm like, I don't know about this. And then here's my personal complaint. This is Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter Alpha 3 as well. I don't like the fact that throws are with 2 buttons now. Like I'm used to 1 button throws, so it kind of throws me off a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I wish it worked well because it is a fun game to play, And I like the fact they gave you 6 characters. Like there's gonna be 16, to begin with. So that's already a good chunk of them. Right.
Right.
I almost have basically, but yeah, I think the game itself, not basing it off the beta bullshit, is good. I just wish we got to play a little bit more of it. That's all,
I'm totally right there with you. I mean, I literally didn't get to play any of it, so.
And
yeah. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, Jamel. My man Dream Manifested just sent me a message. He said he just woke up.
That's funny.
Oh man, so I'm going to try to get him in.
Yeah, definitely.
But in the meantime, while I'm doing that, I'm going to say what I've been playing.
Yeah.
So I've finished Batman Arkham Knight.
Nice.
And I enjoyed that game, but it has some issues. I don't know if I'm going to do a review yet. I might. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But overall, mechanically, it's a brilliant game. In a lot of ways.
What's going on?
Dream Manifested, what's going on?
What's up?
Yo, what's up, man?
He just woke up.
My man's like me an hour ago.
Yeah, right? What the hell
couldn't go to sleep. And then I went to sleep. And then, yeah.
So,
stayed sleep.
Dream Manifested. We have Tony over here. He goes by Rami Death on Twitter, but Tony as well. Tony, you still here with us, right?
Yep, I'm right here, man.
Okay, because your video just kind of like
Yeah,
stopped.
your video stopped too, but now you're back.
Oh, that's weird. All right,
So how far are y'all into the thing?
I mean, we're far enough.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we was just talking about the Street Fighter beta.
I'm gonna fix the screen for everyone else in a second. But anyway, what else have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter 4, man. A lot of Street Fighter 4.
Since you can't get into Street Fighter 5, right?
Man, that struggle is so ridiculously real. It's not even funny. I wish I was joking when I said that.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. By the way, Batman, that was the last game I was playing. Fucking brilliant game, like you said, man. I actually managed my crazy ass. I got 100% in it twice. Yep, like, I got 100% in normal games. So I wanted to see the ending, and then I got 100% again in New Game Plus because I'm like, I can't leave well enough alone. I can't just beat the game and not do the side shit again. So I did all that. And I'm trying to get that platinum trophy. I only got 3 more trophies to go. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, this is what you do, man. Summer ain't nothing else to do. So I play that game to the ground, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude. I'm pretty far into that game. The Riddler trophies, man. There's so many.
Yeah, it's a lot.
There's so many goddamn Riddler trophies. So that's the reason why I have not gotten 100% on that. But I did beat it. I was feeling pretty good about that. But like, I'm not gonna ruin it or spoil anything for anyone. But like, the unveiling for who the Arkham Knight was just like mad disappointing.
Why? Because it was predictable?
It was predictable as fuck. Like, before the game even came out, I was saying to myself, this better not be this person. It better not be this person. Or else I'm going to be really upset. And then it was. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, with me, I wasn't upset because as soon as they said Arkham, I'm like, I know exactly who it is.
Yeah.
I know who it is. Like, it's the only person that makes sense, and it was exactly who I thought it was.
Right.
If you read the comics, you know who it was already.
Exactly. We might have given that away by saying that, but like at the same time, you'll know immediately.
Yeah, the game's been out for a month already. Come on, people.
Whoa, what the hell's going on with my screen? No one's.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I
we
can hear you, but I can't see
we hear you, man.
shit. Can you guys see me?
You went to your normal profile.
Now you say we see you posing.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's so weird. So like both of you just went totally dark on my screen. Now.
Yeah, it's Skype, man. It's Skype.
Yeah, man, this new Skype junk, man. They always doing updates and then they messing stuff up.
Yeah.
I agree. They need to stop. They need to chill out with that shit. So what about you, Dream? What have you been playing? Oh yeah, by the way, Witcher 3 is still one of the best games of all time. People, please go buy it. It is an amazing game. A wonderful gaming experience. Continue.
Well, shoot, what I've been playing the most right now is it's kind of a 3-way tie. I've been playing a little bit of 2K just so I could unwind, but I've been playing a lot of Arkham and Witcher, mainly Arkham now because that's what I've been streaming. Mm-hmm. And I really hate that I haven't played the first 2 because Arkham Knight is amazing.
Dude, you've been sleeping. You've been sleeping.
It is amazing.
Okay.
So,
all right. So what part are you at without giving away anything story?
part of my at let's see. Right now, I'm working on finishing the bridge part.
Okay.
And also doing some of the Catwoman stuff. So I try to flip flop between both of those. That's the one thing about some of these kind of games. Like, they seem a little bit better suited for streaming because I'd love to do like your normal just set up episodes, but they're not really. The game itself isn't really broken up into particular chapters.
Right.
So you don't know when should I start it, when should I stop. If I do, as you see, Brad is like on episode like 50 something. Like, dang.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why like my videos for Let's Plays have been a lot more minimal than they could be, is because like I have to like go in and edit stuff out because it's just like exploration segments where people on YouTube don't necessarily want to watch. You just exploring around. So it's tough. It's a tough game to put up on YouTube, but for streaming, it's perfect because you can just interact with people and just keep doing your thing. So it's pretty good.
That is very true.
We're gonna move on to the next part. After we just went in on Street Fighter a little bit, we actually didn't even talk about the issues necessarily. We talked about, Tony's experience with the game, which is great. But there are several issues that I have with fucking experience.
Like not being able to play it.
Yeah, not being able to play, right? Yeah, people talking about like, oh, the matchmaking is fucked up. Like, yeah, because you can't matchmake. Period. You can't get in with nobody.
Exactly. And I was going to save that part for one of the. Actually, you know what? We're going into the gaming news. Let's talk about that first, since we're talking about it right now. The beta has been an absolute disaster. Absolute fucking disaster. And DBZ and HD, welcome to the stream. How's it going? We talked about this on Twitter between me and a bunch of people. I went to a couple of streams where people were trying to stream it, using their PCs to stream it, because if you try to do it with your PS4, you can't stay in long enough to actually do anything. It's inexcusable at this point, because they know, numbers-wise, how many people pre-ordered the game. They know how many people, they know what their servers are capable of, and they know how many people were pre-ordering the game. So you would assume that at least 80% of the people who pre-ordered the game on PS4 are going to want to get in on day one, let alone day 2 and day 3 and day 4. Like, the fact that the issue is continuing is really, I know it's a beta. I know this is why it exists, so that they can figure out solutions to this stuff early on. But Capcom knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. Like, Capcom has a weird bit of history when it comes to this too,
Yes,
and then the thing is, this is coming off the debacle that was Ultra Street Fighter 4 on PS4. Remember how that went off? That was not exactly smooth either. So
No, it wasn't.
it's a bit of an issue, So yeah. I mean, like, it wasn't as bad as people were still able to get in the game, but it was laggy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they've been having problems. So that's not good that people pre-order the game, and they can't get in. And the thing is, if this was a beta test just to try out the game, then okay, you could forgive it. But this was literally a beta test to stress test the servers. How are you gonna stress test servers if nobody could get in?
Exactly.
Come on, man.
Exactly.
Stress, man.
It's like, yo, how many people can we fit on this boat? It's like, okay, but only 2 dudes get on. That's not a stress test. How many people can we get on this boat before it sinks? We don't know, because only 2 dudes got in.
Exactly.
The shit don't work.
And your point about the fact that Ultra Street Fighter 4 landed on PS4 raises a really good point.
Yeah, man.
They have a game that already exists on PlayStation 4 with a lot of people trying to play it. It's not like it's a mystery now that like a lot of people want to play the game. It's not a mystery how the online infrastructure works on PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. And then, think about it like this. You have Ultra Street Fighter 4 on PS4. Then you have, Street Fighter 4 on PS3. So all these servers are all working, yet they can't get this one working. Like, again, I'm not, a technician or whatever. I don't know what problems they may be having. But at the same time, I think they could have done a better job of it. Maybe I think 80% would be a little too much. Maybe at least get 50% on the first day or something, then get everybody in after that. But I don't know, man. They're gonna have to talk to like somebody else about it. Like Rockstar. How did you guys do this?
Talk to Bungie, talk to Rockstar, talk to Ubisoft, talk to anyone else who has ever done a beta on any platform, or the PS4 specifically. Like, yeah. I was very impressed. Maybe I shouldn't use them as a bar of success, but when Destiny had their alpha and beta, and when Evolve had their alpha and beta, I was impressed with how they handled it. Because like, even if there were issues, like, they were resolved quickly, and you were able to get on. Like, you were able to get in and test things and provide feedback. They gotta talk to somebody.
I want to get on Destiny real quick, because a lot of people give that game a lot of shit, but it's like, you guys realize that this game has like one of the few games that actually has consistently worked online all the time, right?
Yeah, I gotta give it to that.
Yeah, so yeah, Capcom, go to Bungie real quick. Ask them a couple questions,
Exactly. And so we have someone in chat actually asking a really good question about Street Fighter V. So what characters do you guys want to see? We've gotten 7 revealed characters? No, 8. 8 characters revealed already.
Yeah, 8. That's half right there, by the way.
That's half. So what other characters, aside from new characters we don't know about, would you guys want to see?
I'm always going to go with my man Guy. You know,
Okay.
I always liked him
Okay.
because he's back. He's old school. He's from Final Fight,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's really fun. When he was in Street Fighter Alpha, he's one of my favorites to play. Yeah, I liked him in Street Fighter 4. I want to see him back.
He's really
I'm
good
trying
at
to
Street Fighter
I'm trying to think of characters that haven't made it to the series yet that I want to see back. But all of my main guys have made it. You know, like there was a lot of dudes from Street Fighter 3 that aren't there yet. But I'll controversy time. I didn't like Street Fighter 3, so
Interesting.
so I don't really care if any of those characters don't come back. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Guy. Yeah, he's probably my main one because you expect some of the others to show up. Like Blanca is probably gonna show up. Akuma, my man. Akuma. I don't know if you guys can see this. I got this tattoo because that's my favorite character. Akuma. So I hope he makes it there. He probably will. Akuma. He got to make it.
He's gonna be in it.
Can't not have Akuma.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with those two. What about you guys?
Damn. You go ahead, Dream. I'm still thinking because that's a good question.
Well, I mean, you already know Street Fighter is. I'm not the biggest on Street Fighter. I like it. I just haven't played too much because I was on Tekken. That's my thing.
Yeah.
But like Akuma would probably be if. So I don't really know the rosters too much. I don't know what's on there or what's not. But like I said previously, I don't think you can have Street Fighter without having Akuma. It's like, because, you got some people that got to use Ryu, that got to use Ken. Well, I'll just use Akuma, you know what I'm saying? At both of y'all asses. So,
Akuma's squishy, so I can take Akuma down, no problem, you know what I mean? Some of that Chun-Li.
Online first, homie.
What'd you say?
I said we got to get online first.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, man.
How you gonna do that to me, man? Gonna break my heart. Who do I want in the game? I wanna see. I wasn't a big fan of Street Fighter Third Strike, but I think mechanically that game is really interesting and really cool. But when it came out, I didn't have it. I only played it at a friend's house. I never actually owned it myself. So my experiences with it have been like playing that and like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Like we always played MVC 2 over that, but like we played it every once in a while, so it was fun. But I've been hearing a lot of people talk about Sean. He's a character from Street Fighter Third Strike.
Yeah.
And he's kind of got like an unorthodox Shoto style. He's a little bit different than the other Shoto characters, so I'd be interested to see him in this game and how they've kind of evolved the character. Another one is like Alex. People really like Alex, and I don't know that much about him, but he kind of reminds me of Abel from Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, so I would rather see Alex return than Abel, because Abel is just like very...
I like Abel, actually.
Man, he's so like... He has no fucking personality. Like he has no back. Like first of all, let's talk about the backstory in Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Like they did a horrible job with the story mode in that game, and with games like Mortal Kombat and Injustice and like all these other really interesting story-driven fighting games. I'm hoping we'll see something interesting done with story mode in Street Fighter, because like it's all about the multiplayer, but like. I want to feel like I'm invested in these characters again. Like back in when was it even? Like I remember playing Street Fighter games in the past and being really intrigued by all of it.
it's interesting because the way they're done now is much different than it was in the past. It was like you just start playing a game and then you get an ending. The ending is what gave you the character intro, basically. Like now you get an actual intro, and then in the middle of it you get like a fight between their rival, and then you get an ending. So they actually give you more nowadays, but at the same time, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want a real story mode with Street Fighter. The story is really stupid. Like you don't really need to expand on that. Like I know Mortal Kombat is doing things like because it's doing things with the fighting games, making the story more like getting you more invested. But at the same time, Mortal Kombat always had a really good deep story to begin with. Street Fighter never did. It's just hey, a bunch of dudes from around the world beating the shit out of each other. That's the story.
But
you know,
could. That's the thing. Like it doesn't have to be that way. Like they could have the option of providing some type of like for Ryu, for example, there's all this backstory about like how he was trained by Goken, how he was him and Ken grew up together, and like they've been like rivals all throughout life. How Ryu has this internal battle with his dark Hado style that's kind of permeating from within him. He has like this connection with Akuma. Spoiler alert: Akuma is Ryu's father. None of that is explained in the game.
Yeah, so maybe if they could take
Yeah.
that, yeah, exactly. And maybe if they take that bit of lore and actually make it work, because I'm just like expecting, maybe I'm just being pessimistic, but I'm just expecting it to be a complete mess if they try to get into that. You'll be like, wait, what?
Capcom, because of Capcom, damn it.
Because they don't explain shit.
Yeah, they've been, man, listen. Capcom has been so bad at that kind of shit for such a long time. Like, let's talk about Devil May Cry 4 for a second. Like, they didn't explain anything in that game. Nothing.
Yeah, let's not talk about that game.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
And we got someone in chat talking about in Street Fighter 5 server 3 times in a row, believe it or not. He got kicked out while he was in, I believe. So like, oh my god.
Yeah, that happened to me.
Capcom, please. Like, do something risky in the sense of like having the characters have like an emotion or something behind them. Like, they introduced those new characters in Street Fighter 4. Abel, for example, they say he's French and he has a dog, and that's literally it.
Yeah.
And you can see by his character design, he looks a little bit like Seth. So
yeah, he does. And doesn't he get the black eyes too when he does the super move? So there's something going on there, but at the same time, they don't tell you nothing.
They don't tell you shit, dude. It's really a pain in the ass. So I don't know, man. So, sorry, I was responding to something in the chat. Someone was saying the volume was low. Is that better, guys? Hopefully it's better. I don't know. I know my man Dream Manifested over here is more of a Tekken fan. How do they handle the story mode in Tekken?
Well, in the later Tekken games, it gets a little convoluted.
Yeah.
So to be honest, I mean, shoot, from Tekken 6 onward, I don't care about the story. I care about picking up my character and putting foot to face. Even though I'm mad because my man Bruce don't seem to be making a comeback in Tekken 7. And why they would do that, I don't know.
Hey,
they're trying to replace him with a chick from, I think she's from Portugal or Brazil or something, and she does some sort of variation of like kickboxing, Muay Thai type stuff. But how you go take away my man Bruce? Not Bruce.
So is that your main character?
Yeah,
Bruce. Okay.
Bruce is the main. Then it's like, then I mess with Brian and Oscar and them. But Bruce was the man. I went through a lot of trials and tribulations with Bruce. There was a lot of me getting my own ass kicked. So I finally figured out how to do his stuff. So that's why I really hurt.
Yeah.
Kate, bring him back.
If he's a similar character type though, in terms of like moveset.
We'll see.
Maybe. And one of the things that really has me interesting about Street Fighter V is the fact that they're looking to like. It's always been the running joke for Capcom games in general, let alone Street Fighter, to have like Street Fighter, then Super Street Fighter, then Super Street Fighter Turbo, and then Super Street Fighter Arcade Ultimate Omega Edition. So like, I'm really excited that they're going to be getting rid of that, and they're going to be implementing any gameplay changes like as updates to the game, not as like a new disc. And new characters they're going to be rolling out as new characters like that you can just download. So either you unlock them using fight money, which is hilarious because, Balrog, whenever he loses, he goes, "My fight monies!" And I think that's fucking brilliant. Or you can pay with cash if you don't have the time to like grind out and like get the fight money points. So
yeah, see, that's the part I'm worried about, because it could be like, okay, you could buy the character for $5, or you could beat the game with every character, get a perfect with all of them, get every ending, and then you get the characters like, fuck it, I'll give you my $5.
You remember how hard it was to get Heihachi? Or like on Tekken, was it Tekken 1 or 2? How hard it was to get Heihachi or a Devil Kazuya? Like Devil Kazuya, you had to beat the daggum Galaga game with making sure you still had 2 ships after it all was said and done. Heihachi, you can lose a round period. You had to go.
Yeah, and to like fight Akuma in many of those games. Like I remember Marvel vs. Capcom, they allowed you to fight Akuma in that game, and they were like, yeah, you can go through and get like 2 perfects, don't lose once, defeat them with 3 ultras, just like you were talking about, Tony. Like you can fight against them and then unlock them that way in some of the earlier Street Fighter games. So
yeah, that's how you unlocked Akuma in Street Fighter. Actually, yeah, in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, right?
Oh my god,
you had to get you had to get like a perfect. I think it was like at least one perfect in every round, right? In every match, don't lose any, and then you get to fight him. You know,
and then you gotta beat him to unlock.
Yeah, you gotta beat him too. Yeah, and he would beat your fucking ass too. He was hard as shit.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's how it was, man. So hopefully it won't be some bullshit like that. It's like, all right, man, you got to beat the game with 2 perfects every round. You know, all that shit. You're like, nah, man.
It sounds like it's through like those points that you have to like use your fight money. So I guess maybe like every match or every run through of an arcade mode, you get a certain amount of credit. So like, I could think of a perfect example: Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You unlocked your characters in that game by going through like arcade or versus and like unlocking points, and then you use those points on unlocking characters or like art and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what? If they do it like that, I would prefer that. And actually, since you're talking about that, please bring back art again, man.
Yes.
I used to like unlocking art. Now they don't give you shit. Like, and also Capcom, when I beat a character, can I see the ending again in a gallery or something? Like, I don't want to just beat the game just as, I mean, I know I have YouTube now, I know that, but, I want, if I beat the game with a character, I want that shit to be unlocked so I can watch it anytime,
Right.
Yeah, but bring that back. I would love that shit, actually. The art galleries and stuff.
Hell yeah, man. That was awesome. That was one of the greatest things about, like, playing those games, especially back then. And, like, while I was still, like, learning about art, is like being able to just unlock all that gallery content and just run through and look at all of it.
Yeah, Street Fighter Alpha 2 because that old school, man. Sega Saturn, they did that. Get unlock the galleries and all that shit. It was great.
Yeah. Does Tekken have any of that gallery opening unlocking?
Yeah, they got some gallery stuff.
I don't know that much about Tekken. I dropped off of Tekken after Tekken 4, or was it Tekken 5? I don't remember, man. It was one of them.
That's because you didn't like the juggle system.
I
don't know. I think you were worried that you didn't want to get caught. But it's very satisfying when you do it to somebody else. So let's say somebody whooping your butt and you find that one opening, and then that's
the end of the match. That's literally you get them, you juggle them, get them off the ground, and get them against the wall, and that's it. They can't do anything. Like I saw some Tekken 7 gameplay from an Evo dude. One, there were like 5,000 people in the room for the Evo final for Tekken 7. So the people were not showing that game too much love. I'm kind of mad about that, but at the same time, I'm not a Tekken fan myself that much anymore. But I was watching these dudes, I guess high-level players, fighting against each other, and that's what I kept seeing. I kept seeing motherfuckers getting bounced off the ground, up against the wall, juggled, insta-kill, basically. I can't.
But when it's all the high level, it becomes very strategic.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to worry about poking and spacing. Oh, don't do this move because it's all about frame rates and all that crap. And then next thing you know, you're like, well, I'm gonna hit him with this. Next thing you know, okay, well, he blocked it. Now when he blocked it, I don't have time to do anything, but he got time to do anything he wants. So I mean, it gets pretty technical. You gotta take a Zaibatsu and you learn the strats.
Yeah, I don't doubt how it's a technical game. I agree with that. I just don't like how like one misstep can literally cost you the entire match. I don't know any other fighting game that's particularly like that.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3 are kind of like that too, where it's like
that, absolutely.
Yeah, you get hit. Yeah, like I played matches in that game where I get punched into the air and I never make it back to the ground again. That's just juggle me all day, every day, man.
Damn, I wanted to play some too.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, I you notice I've been quiet about Tekken because Tekken. I said Sega Saturn, right? I've always been one of those guys like, man, fuck Tekken. I'm all about Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter was my shit.
I like Virtua Fighter. I like that system a lot.
Like Virtua Fighter 2 to me is still like one of the greatest fighting games of all time. So I've always been like, Tekken. Man. So maybe I'll give it another chance now, but I've always been a Sega guy in that regard. Like Virtua Fighter all day, every day, man.
What they need to bring back is Battle Arena Toshiden.
Yeah.
Man, what happened to that game? That game was the shit.
It fell off hard. You talk about back in the day where you had to buy tips and tricks to learn how to do stuff?
Yep.
You had to time it just right to press start and it changes color so you can get character. See, that was the thing that brought me, well, I wouldn't say brought me into it, but that was one of the things that I really liked when I was little as far as gaming is like the cheats and codes like were integrated into the game where you really had to do something weird. Now it's just kind of...
It's DLC now.
That's that bull I do not like. But yes,
man.
Oh my god, someone in chat just said what I was literally about to say. Thank you, Black Star, so much. Shout out to you, brother. Fucking Bushido Blade.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, shout out to Black Star too. That's my homie, man. We're always talking on Twitter.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
All right, Black Star. Welcome to the stream, my man. My man Tony knows you. That's what's up. Guys, let's talk about Bushido Blade for a second. Have either of you played this game?
Bushido Blade's one of those series I've never played, but I've always wanted to play. Because that sounds like a serious fighting game right there. You fuck up, you dead. That's it.
Dude,
you know?
So that was a very technical game. It was centered on realism. And so if you got hit on your side, but your arm was there, your arm is no longer working.
Yeah.
And so you got to use your other arm. You got to switch hands and use that to your advantage. And if you get hit in the leg, you're stumbling. You can't move around as much. That game was way ahead of its time in terms of mechanics and in terms of like what it set out to do. Now, if you look at it now, obviously it doesn't hold up very well graphically, and controls could be a lot better. But I think that was a Square Enix game, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, but I'm thinking about it. I don't think a game like that would translate well to modern times because a lot of players don't have that kind of patience anymore, you know?
Yeah,
like,
but
they
that's
really
the thing,
don't,
though.
man.
Like some matches can be over in an instant if you get the velocity of your attack and they're jumping in at the exact right time. You can kill them in one hit.
Yeah, you can. But again, I think some people will be like, "Oh, I don't like that game. I lose too fast." But then at the same time, it's like, what if you're a fan of like MMA, right? MMA's the same way.
That's
MMA
true.
match can go on for a few rounds or it can go on for a couple of seconds,
That's
you know?
so true.
So if you bring back Bushido Blade, maybe you got to build it like that, you know? It's like Samurai MMA or something, you know?
Dude, I would be down for that. We need this. We need to start a petition. Go on Twitter to blast up
Let's
Bushido
do this,
Blade.
man.
Let's do this right now. Bring back Bushido Blade.
Bushido Blade, bring back Virtual On. Just bring everything back.
Yes, Virtual On, please, man. Sega, what the fuck? Please bring it back, man.
Wait, so what is this game you're talking about?
Virtual
You remember
On.
Virtual On?
No.
Oh man, you missed out, man. Virtual On was like one of the best mech games out there, man. Like twin stick mechs fucking fighting with the arcade. Ooh, it was lovely, man. You know, had these crazy robot designs too. You look it up, people. Virtual On, man.
I'm about to look that shit up.
Virtual On is a classic.
I remember Steel Battalion.
Still, well, see, yeah, okay. That was the original. That's where they were selling that peripheral that would cost like $200 itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, can I have? Why are you crazy?
Yeah, exactly. I tried to ask my mom. She was like, "What the fuck?" She just straight up said, "What the fuck?" She didn't even give me like a in-depth like reason. She said, "What the fuck?" and she left it at that. And I was like, "Okay, all right." Well, I guess that's a no. We will move on with the podcast though. I could go on about fighting games, man.
Man.
I'll say one more thing. I want another Soul Calibur, but I want them to stop fucking around with that Soul Calibur 5 shit.
I think I'm at the point where I think they need to give Soul Calibur a break, man. Like, there's too many of them. Like, I remember back in the day, it was like you got Soul Calibur, the first one, and it took a long time for 2 to come out, so you were eagerly anticipating that. Then they start dumping them out every other year. It's like, all right, now it's not special anymore. They need to give that a break. Bring it back maybe next gen. I don't know. But just give it a break for now, man.
Yeah, because like my big thing was like Soul Calibur. They did Soul Calibur 5, and then they did Soul Calibur Lost Souls, which was like a online ghost battling game, which made no fucking sense. It like took away almost all the characters. And maybe you're right. Maybe we shouldn't look for another Soul Calibur game right away. But like, I'm not even counting the last 2 Soul Calibur games as releases. Like, maybe that's the reason why I'm looking at it like that. Like, it wasn't hard to make a sequel for Soul Calibur. Like, it really wasn't. Just bring back the characters from the previous games, add new ones, and make the online, like, smooth.
What was the other one? That there was like when Soul Calibur came out, wasn't there like another game that was very similar to it, but it had like a dude with like a
Battle Toshiden or some shit like that?
I don't know. It was like the cover was a dude holding like a. It looked kind of like a lightsaber.
Oh, wow.
What was that shit called? Hold
I
on.
don't remember. Yeah, because the only like weapon games I remember are like Battle Arena Toshinen, Soul Calibur, and Bushido Blade. Those are like the only real weapon 3D games I remember.
Right.
Like the good ones, at least. Maybe there was a couple of knockoffs or something. I don't know.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think with Soul Calibur, they need to take a break, man. They need to do with Street
Soul
Fighter,
Edge?
same thing. Soul Edge was the precursor to Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
there you go. Well, that's probably what I'm thinking about there.
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
so
yeah, that was a precursor. Yeah.
Electrodes just let me know in the chat. Oh, they did a poll on Facebook asking fans who their favorite characters were from Soul Calibur. Talon was the highest voted. Taki was second, and then
course.
Mitsurugi.
What about Maxie?
Maxie,
What?
I like Maxie, but
Yeah, Maxie's good, man. I like him.
I like him, but
Why am I not surprised the top characters are the women? You know, why am I not surprised?
Mitsurugi's third though. That's my main right there.
Yeah,
Mitsurugi.
Mitsurugi's my man right there. You know.
Yeah, he can be in that top 3. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I like Killick too. Killick was shit.
Killick is awesome. I like Maxie, but sometimes, man, I use Maxie and his combos are just going on a little too long, and I'm like, yo, you
it's
stop
messed
with
up.
that shit.
He's like, stop. Let's know you get hit in the back of the head.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. So one of the other things we'll move on is we wanted to talk a little bit about Nintendo and Satoru Iwata's passing. Now, this isn't obviously ending that part of the conversation on a happy note, but it is something I want to talk about before we get to the other stuff. I've been on record of saying many times Nintendo needs to get their shit together, but there's no way any of us outside of the people closest to him would have known that he was like on the verge of dying.
Right.
Yeah, like I knew he was sick, but I didn't know it was that bad. You know. But yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. I've been very critical of Nintendo. I still am. I'm not just because he's dead. I'm not gonna stop being critical of him because Nintendo they're not in. It's 2015. They're acting like it's 1995. But at the same time, I'm not gonna take anything away from this man because he's probably the only like game executive of that caliber that was actually a programmer first. And he said it many times, like, in my heart, I'm a gamer. He's always said that. I mean, this dude was programming shit on his own without anybody else helping him out. So you got to give him respect on that end. And he's been with Nintendo forever, since 1980,
Yeah, and I've always liked him as a person, as a character. Like, I've always thought he was like a really genuine person when he was talking about the games that he's excited to kind of show people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and you always saw him on Nintendo Directs. That's how people got to know. Like, a lot of these executives, they don't really show you themselves too much. He was there at least like once every other month in front of the camera doing something silly, making people laugh and stuff. People remember that. That's why there's such a outpouring of like sympathy or whatever. Because people felt connected to this man. So you definitely gotta recognize that.
I totally agree with that. It just sucks, because you get the good thing about it is like online you got to see a lot of people kind of giving their outpouring of emotion about the fact that he's gone. There was a lot of like positivity on the internet overall, and like I remember Michael Pachter, for example, posted a tweet in relation to kind of how he felt about Satoru's leadership in relation to that, and like people got really offended by that. Like, I saw the tweet, and I saw that I can see how people were like kind of upset about it, but like at the same time, he wasn't saying anything necessarily bad about him. He was just kind of saying like, I'm not going to retract any of my statements about like saying Nintendo needs to fix what they're doing, but like I'm really sad by this. So you got a lot of people who have a lot of love for the man, and it sucks to see anyone that young go, especially in the gaming community.
Yeah, because he was 50, right? It's like, damn, this dude was like really, really young, Yeah, but same thing with Michael Pachter. I didn't see the tweets, but I could imagine what he did say because he's been critical. But it's the same thing I've been saying. Like, Satoru Iwata was obviously like a great person and everything. But even I would say, like, I don't think he was the right person to be leading Nintendo. He's probably the right person leading Nintendo out of everybody that's there right now.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. But, because he had the business savvy and he was a programmer, but at the same time I still felt he could have taken Nintendo in a more modern direction. Maybe now Nintendo will. I say they might, but I doubt they will. I really have no faith in Nintendo at this point. Like they seem to have like their own, they live in their own little world, but I don't know, man. Like hopefully they'll get their stuff together, but I don't see it happening. But again, we're trying to pay tribute to Iwata. We don't want to talk about the bad problems with Nintendo too much,
Exactly. So what is your favorite Nintendo memory?
Ooh, man, I'm gonna go. okay, even though I already had the NES when I was a kid, my favorite Nintendo memory is actually getting the SNES on Christmas, man. You open that shit up, I'm like, oh my God. You know, I was almost like that little kid in the video, little white kid,
Yeah,
you know?
the N64.
Yeah, but it was just like, oh shit. Man, Super Mario World, that's still my favorite Mario game of all time. I played that nonstop for like a year. That was like the shit right there. Super Nintendo in general was an amazing system.
I
in
love
some
that
way,
system.
yeah, man. In some ways, I kind of wish that like gaming would go back to that. You know, like the Super NES era. That was like probably still my favorite one. You know,
We had so many creative and new games that came out around those times, and just like I have a lot of really great memories with my Super Nintendo, and that was actually the last Nintendo system I owned.
Same here. Same here.
And that's crazy to think about, right? Because since then, they've had the N64. My brother had an N64, so I always just played his when I went over to my dad's house. They had the GameCube. They had the Wii. Now they have the Wii U. I have not bought any of those systems.
Yeah, same here. Like I bought a 3DS, but it was like because my friend was selling it to me real cheap. You know, like I didn't have any plans of buying it. But yeah, it's like, you know, like I said this on my podcast a bunch of times. I don't want to get too much into it here, but I always felt like at some point Nintendo lost me as a consumer. You know, and I think that's how it is for a lot of people. A lot of people say it's like, hey, I love Nintendo. I still have love for Nintendo, but at the same time, not really doing much to get me in there. You know?
Right. Exactly. Well, he's asking about Eternal Champions.
Eternal Champions was the shit too, man. I'll take it.
My man. This is some old Sega stuff.
That's some. How you gonna be talking about Sega stuff when we talk about Nintendo? What you doing?
Whatever I put in the chat, man. It was silent until you said something.
Yeah, you said Eternal Champions, not us, man.
I saw it in the chat, and I was like, "Where does that come from?"
Yeah, that game was the shit, though, man. Going back to our fighting game conversation.
Oh yeah.
But no, for me, I fell off kind of at the GameCube. I didn't really get into my first Nintendo system was a Game Boy Color, and then Game Boy Color to Nintendo 64, and then whatever GameCube. I've only had three, but my fondest memory was probably on Christmas. My mom brought upstairs Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron was bad, boy.
That was a good game, man.
Well, it's a mix between that and then having the sleepovers and playing GoldenEye.
Yes.
Playing GoldenEye. That's what Nintendo used to be like. Nintendo used to really be about that. And they used to have all kinds of different games, as we talked about on my podcast before. They used to do things other than their first party stuff. You know, it used to be more than the Mario and all of that. They used to try different things. They had the GoldenEyes. They had Shadows of the Empire. They had all kinds of stuff. Quarterback Club, all that kind of stuff. And now it's like
NFL Blitz.
Yeah, now it's strictly Nintendo type stuff, and it's strictly. At our age now, we don't really have. It's not all the time where you have a bunch of kids or a bunch of people in the room just to play these party games.
Right.
And so they don't really have anything that kind of appeals to me right now, except from Zelda. Right. But I'm still gonna wait till the NX comes out.
Yeah, exactly. I might as well wait. There's nothing.
Man, yeah. But see, that's the sentiment everybody shares. Everybody still has love for Nintendo, but at the same time, they're not making games we want, man. They're not.
Yeah, this is true. And I think my favorite Nintendo moments have to hark back to... So when I said my final system was a Super Nintendo, I wasn't counting in the handhelds. My last handheld was a Game Boy Advance. So I never got the 3DS or anything like that. I thought about it many times, but I don't do a lot of mobile gaming these days, so
right.
I decided to go against that. But it gotta go back to Pokemon, man. Like, I was a massive Pokemon fan. I still rock my Pikachu Kigurumi. You know what I'm saying? I still put it on from time to time. So I got a lot of love for Nintendo when it comes to a lot of those memories. But wait, did we lose Tony? Tony still?
He got a little frozen.
Yeah, he did. He'll be back in a second.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
But
I'm right here.
Okay, there he is. Nice. But it would have to go back to like playing on my Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance, playing Pokemon Gold and Silver, just up all night trying to train my Pokemon. trading with friends, battling with friends over the ports and adapters.
Mm-hmm.
Those were some really amazing times in my life in terms of as being a gamer. My man Scizor, I caught my Scyther, evolved into a Scizor. That was my favorite Pokemon, I always had a Pikachu on deck, had a Charizard, But,
I got a confession to make. I never played a single Pokemon game in my life.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I didn't even know there were Pokemon games until, like, maybe, like, 2 years after, like, I stopped watching the anime. Because I used to watch the anime, right? Back when it was on, I think it was Channel 11 back in my hometown, right? And, like, after the movie came out. That's when I stopped watching Pokemon.
Okay.
And then, like, a year later, I was like, wait, there's a video game? Like, I didn't even know about it. It was hilarious. But I used to like Pokemon because it was weird. It's like, wait, do they even have, like, normal animals in this world? Like,
yeah, right. What do they eat?
yeah, do they eat Pokemon? Is that what they eat? Like they have Charizard steaks or something? Like, what do they have in this world? And it's like, do they have teleportation technology? It's like, do they like how do they teleport these animals into the balls and stuff? Do they just become like a mass of energy? Like, I always had questions about Pokemon. It's a very intriguing world, but I never like played the games. And then I know my friends tell me it's like, oh, it's like baby's first RPG or something like that.
Right. It's totally
Missed
true.
out, man. We were just talking about Blaze missing out on stuff. You didn't play any other. You didn't play Pokemon Red or Blue.
Nothing,
That's what
man.
you decided you wasn't gonna have in the rest of your life, man.
Never played a single one of them, man. Never. Like I said, I didn't even know they were games until like after the movie came out. I had no idea.
That is so funny. So, I think people are like, I see.
Yeah, I see that.
Ramdes video. Yeah, it's because his video doesn't come back. So people, don't worry, his video's coming back.
Yeah, it'll come back.
Just give it a little time. Skype. That Skype love.
Yes, yeah, Skype, man. Ugh.
Take up some of his space. You know what I'm saying?
No big deal. No big deal.
I just try to put this pretty face on as many squares as I can. You
know what? I'm about to. No, fuck you.
Oh, that's cold. Ouch.
Nah, I'm just trying to say.
I mean, you want me to jump off and come back in or something?
If you want to try that, sure.
Yeah, I'll be back.
All right. But yeah, Pokemon cards, man. Pokemon cards were awesome. And the thing about Nintendo was that originally they started off doing like cards and stuff, right? They started off their business with I think it was playing cards.
Yeah, back in like what, the 1800s or something. It was like I'm not even exaggerating. It was like late 1800s,
Yeah, exactly. He said, "Your dream manifested sounds the biggest waste of my life."
It was. My mom brought those cards up to me, and I was like, "All right, what do we do with this?" Because I had already known about Magic. This is after Magic, so I've seen those kind of games play. I was like, "Nah."
Wait, you never
She's
played?
like, "Here you go."
You never played Pokemon?
No.
What?
No.
What kind of blasphemous language is that?
Like I said, I had played Magic before. It wasn't my cup of tea. So I was like, she brought those cards and said, "Here, look, here you go, some Pokemon cards." I was like, "Yeah, thanks."
I'm mad. I'm so mad. So I think we've given our respects over to Nintendo in that regards. I think they have a long way to go before they're really in a good place right now.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of like what it'll take for me to buy another Nintendo system, if an NX is what I'm hoping it'll be, which is hopefully a cross between mobile and console gaming, I will buy that shit in a heartbeat. And if it has Zelda on launch, I will buy it. I will buy that.
Zelda, Metroid. Well,
that other Metroid shit they showed, by the way.
Yeah.
Because we actually brought this conversation up on our podcast. So for me, the graphics actually have to be on par with its competitors. You can't come out with another Wii U when you got the PS4. You can't be this step behind in the graphic department. You can't. You just can't do it. We need online capabilities. And I understand how they love to try to be innovative when it comes to their controllers, but at least make it feasible. Like the ideas were cool, but like if I'm playing anything, I'm looking at the TV. I'm not going to be like, I'm not doing it.
And the crazy thing about it too is that you can only have one of those Wii U pads per play session, like if you have other people around you, no one else can have one.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Only one person can have it.
One
so it's like
per console.
What? That's crazy.
Exactly. And plus, like those controls were like $150.
Shit, it's about the size of a Game Gear.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. This shit I'm talking about. Nintendo, like, what are you guys doing? You know?
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't have much hopes for the NX because I think it's going to be a fucking tablet. That's what I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know? So if that's the case, and then graphically, I mean, look what happened. You heard the news with Project Cars, right?
Yes.
Like they couldn't even make it for the system. It's like it's not powerful enough. So
they can't handle what we're trying to do for it. That's a problem.
Yeah. So if you're gonna have a tablet system, remember this is a rumor right now. So the tablet system, it ain't gonna be as powerful as a PS4. I'm sorry.
I mean, they're doing some really crazy things with tablet technology now. So maybe by the time that they're ready to release the NX, there might be some viable hope of it being on par.
Yeah, I don't know. And then the whole mobile strategy, it's like they want to release like 5 mobile games a year. It's like you guys realize that in order to be successful with mobile games, you need to release like 40 or more a year. Like you need to just dump them shits out. That's how these people make their money, you know? And then the other problem is like, okay, say they release their mobile game, the first one, right? You're going to have like at the minimum 20 knockoffs. They're going to be cheaper, you know?
Exactly. There was already knockoffs of Mario.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like the mobile space is not a good space like for gaming. It really isn't, man, because it's just so cutthroat and so it's like the Wild West, basically.
It really is.
Yeah,
it really is. Honestly,
I think even saying that is a little bit of a compliment. It's more like the wasteland. It's like
the fucking Fallout wasteland.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my god! And this is another comment that we see in the chat over here, talking about Sega in general. We're talking about two Japanese companies. You know, Nintendo has their problems. Sega also has their problems, and they
man, Sega hurt, boy.
Man,
Sega
hurt. Yeah. I said this on my podcast a million times, but I'll say it for you guys who just watching my pretty face for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo needs to stop with the bullshit and become a third-party developer. And I know some of you guys will be like, oh, no, look what happened with Sega when they did it. But let's be real. Sega didn't have as many good games as Nintendo does. Imagine seeing Zelda on a PS4. People would buy that shit in droves. Heartbeat. Exactly. Imagine seeing Mario on a PS4 or Xbox One. You can still keep those same cartoonish graphics, but you can make it even more cartoonish with all that power. You know, color. Star Fox, Kid Icarus, Metroid, all these things on and I'm going to keep it real, on a real console would be insane. And then going back on the mobile space, imagine if Nintendo sold a real deal Mario for your fucking iPhone for $1. Come on, man. There's money to be made, but Nintendo, they have their heads up their asses when it comes to this shit. It's like, no, we're going to make another console. We're going to this. We're going to ignore everybody else. We're not in competition with everybody else. Sorry, Nintendo, you are in competition. Yeah. You are. And when you realize that, that's when you're going to get your shit together and actually compete with these other guys. Nintendo is a very unique company.
Yes.
They do things nobody else does. They need to play to those strengths. You know, they really do. And their hardware ain't cutting it, so make your shit for hardware that can't. Imagine having Nintendo games on a PC. That'd be great, you know. But Nintendo, the problem is they have this control issue. You know, they want to control everything precisely. You know, even look at this shit with the Nintendo, network, whatever the hell it's called. It's like you can't even like say certain phrases.
Yeah,
there's
no universal voice chat on the console at all. So like, if you play Splatoon with your friends, like, you have to get a laptop and hop on Skype. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, listen, Nintendo, kids aren't the only ones playing games anymore, man. It's mostly adults playing games. Stop with the bullshit and just open it up for everybody, you know?
Right. I part of me understands the Nintendo purists who are saying they want to have a Nintendo console for their experiences on Nintendo, because there is something unique to say about their consoles, but I personally don't think unique is good enough when it comes to great gaming experiences overall. Like, they undeniably make some of the best games out there, but if people don't want to play on your platform, and they only can play certain things on your platform, they can't play Mass Effect on your platform, they can't play Madden, they can't play Call of Duty, they can't play all the other games that they want to play, they can't play Project Cars, then you're giving them just a Mario machine.
Yeah, basically, I mean...
Because, I mean, when we were younger, Unique probably would have cut it. I mean, we weren't the ones spending the money. We just, oh, okay, let's play it. At this point, now that we are the consumers, and we got to think about, well, if I spend this money, am I going to get my money's worth out of it?
Right.
Am I going to be able to extend this, play with friends? Like, there's much more into it than, like you said, just to, oh, that looks cool, that's different. Let me get this a try. Well, yes, that's something that goes into it, but let me give this a try, and then, but I swear, if I buy this and I don't like it, somebody get it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of,
it hurts me to say shit like that, but it's real, man. It's real. It's the way it is. It is the way it is. And I have gone on record many times for giving Nintendo shit for doing the things that they have been doing for good reason.
Just spreading the truth, man.
And this actually ties in very well to one of the other things I wanted to discuss on the podcast. So we were talking about like how Nintendo has this emphasis on like having people in the room playing stuff together, right? And so there's been verification that Halo 5 on a Microsoft console will no longer be supporting split screen. Now, is this important anymore? Is this a big deal? Is this kind of like I saw on the forums people freaking out about it, but is it really as big of a deal as we're making it?
No, nobody has time to go to people's houses anymore and play games on a couch. That ain't happening anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure. So I know some people still feel strongly about it, but no, you play games online with other people. You don't need split screen. And if that's taken away from their resources, then it makes sense for them to take that away.
Right.
It's not important anymore. It really isn't.
And I think it's all about the age range. I mean, like I said, as far as the gamers, it's mostly people our age, maybe a little bit older. So as you said, at this point, we don't need to have that. It'd be cool, but we just don't have the availability to always do that. Right. And we're the ones who are pretty much giving the most money toward it. Now, I can see how the younger audience will be like, oh, man. But even shoot, I mean, a lot of the people that I play with online is always little kids. I'm like, yo, where's the Nintendo 64 at? You even, like, why are you on this right now? You need to get your game up. You need to go back and go through the history.
Go through all the games we had to go through to get here.
Exactly. Just jump and skip it to the front of the line. But I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem. People always complain when something is taken away that you're used to. Yeah. Even if you're not really using it for real. So I mean, after it comes out and you get to do campaign missions and stuff online, and you have your full use of the screen, they're like, there's something to this thing.
Yeah, right. I got my own space. What is that?
Right. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I know there's people with families and stuff, maybe them, but at the same time, no, most gamers they don't need that. Like who seriously goes, hey guys, come over, let's play a game. Nobody has time for that shit.
Right. And I'm with you on that in terms of like people who have families or people who have a bunch of people living in an apartment. Like, there are times when I wanted to play, like, me and my roommate were really excited for Drive Club before it came out. And he was like, oh, does this game have split screen? Can we play it together? And I was just like, oh, no, we can't actually do that. So, like, there's certain times where I do wish it was back. Because, like, it would be cool to play, like, I'm thinking back to games like Resistance 3, for example, had split screen multiplayer for its, like, co-op mode, I think for online as well. So like if he wanted to jump in on like a some action, or Call of Duty I think still does have split screen. So like if I go on a Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, I can jump on and my roommate can join me and we can play online against other people. So I'm with you guys that a majority of people out there who play, especially online, like don't really care that much about it in the sense of like it doesn't need to be there, but I don't want it to become so much of a normal thing that split screen doesn't exist anymore.
Right, exactly.
So like I remember one of the things that Resistance I think did was they brought the resolution down to compensate for the fact that they're displaying it on two screens, but if you're playing it alone the resolution was higher. Like that's things that they could do.
Yeah, I get, but people like their resolution to be high. You know, what I mean, everybody's always talking about resolutions and stuff, and that's probably the reason they don't have split screen as much anymore, because it's going to cut down on the quality of the game, the way it looks. You know,
they got to get over that shit, man. Because like, you can't have it all.
I mean, yeah, you know, it's like, don't take what I said about split screen in a bad way, though. I think it's a cool feature. Right. Every game should have it, but at the same time, if not a lot of people are going to be utilizing it, and developers could be using that time and money on something else, they could probably put it on something else, you know?
Exactly. And Black Star made a really good point. Rocket League has split screen, and my man JC Mac 120, who has been on the podcast several times, he and his girlfriend actually have played that game together, or his fiance. Sorry, they're about to get married. They've played that game together, and they've been having a blast playing it because they can sit down next to each other, play Rocket League. Of course, that's a different type of game, but you know, I don't think split screen is dead. Maybe we'll see more developers using it, maybe not. But I agree with you, Tony. Like, they shouldn't take resources away from the development process in order to accommodate that, unless like they have the extra time and they've like scheduled time to allow for that, you know?
Yeah, like if they can make it work, then go ahead, make it work, you know? But if you can't, then don't even bother, you know?
Right. And so, we were talking about Batman Arkham Knight earlier, and Warner Brother Games is apparently working on another... Oh, sorry, Rocksteady. That's supposed to say Rocksteady is working on another superhero-themed game. And we were talking about N64 not too long ago, so I'm pretty sure you guys know about the infamous Superman 64.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows about that.
Better than that crap. As long as it's better than that trash.
What would Rocksteady need to do to make a Superman game any good? You had to know this question was coming. You had to know.
Okay.
Make sure running around the mobility and motion works. It's not clunky. Mm-hmm. Just make a real game. Shoot. Like I said, follow Arkham Knight's blueprint. Follow the blueprint of something that's successful, and you'll be good.
I'm gonna go off a little bit here because I've written about this and I've talked about this. I actually wrote an editorial about this back when I worked for DualShockers, right? Oh, and it was about like what would be the next game that Rocksteady could make. And the beginning of it was why a Superman game can never work. You know, and this is why. And I have to preface it with Superman is my number one favorite superhero of all time. Okay. And I'm saying he can't fucking work. Okay, because the only way you can make a proper Superman game is if you depower him. And that's already a problem right there because you're not playing as Superman anymore. You're just playing as this depowered guy. But if you make Superman as powerful as he's supposed to be, he doesn't work in a video game because you can't fucking kill him. You can't hurt him. Like, what are you going to do? You throw some regular thugs at him?
That was the point of it.
Yeah,
that's the point. Like, the only Superman game I played to completion was one on PS2, and it was terrible.
That was a Superman Returns one, right?
I don't know. It wasn't Superman Returns. It was based on the animated series that even had that style.
Okay.
And it's like you have normal thugs with regular guns shooting Superman and hurting him, and I'm like, the guy is supposed to be impervious to this shit. What the hell are you doing? But then again, if you make him like how he's actually supposed to be, that's not much of a game. Like, I know in Superman Returns, they made it so, like, Metropolis had, like a life bar. You had to protect it. Right. But at the same time, then it becomes an escort game. Nobody likes escort games.
Right.
So it's a tough thing. On Throwdown, though, we did talk about this, and we said it would be interesting if the game wasn't an action game. Maybe it could be like a game like Telltale Games. You focus it on the actual story itself and just have some sequences where he uses his power. Make it so Superman isn't fighting something. Maybe something along those lines. In Telltale Games, they're very good with narrative. They make it work. Yeah. Well,
either that, or at least you can't have his enemies be like just your normal humans. You have to bring all the true supervillains into the picture. You can't just have that run around the city fighting Lex Luthor. You can't have the basic. Yeah. I mean, to the same extent, like, I don't know if y'all remember the RoboCop game way back in the day, but I had the same from that.
Yeah.
I'm RoboCop. What you mean these bullets hurt? I definitely understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, and then, like, here's the thing, though. It's like, if you're going to make it the actual Superman, right? Well, you have to make the game like Shadow Colossus. It's just a bunch of boss fights because no one could take them, you know? And then name the guys who could take Superman. Very few of them. Darkseid, Doomsday.
Batman.
I'm running back. Come on. You know, like they make these things where like, oh yeah, Batman or Superman, who will win? Come on, guys, Superman. 1 second, he would beat Batman. Man's just a regular dude. You know, let's just be honest. I love Batman, by the way, but I'm just being honest.
Batman's my favorite. He's my favorite.
But you, yeah, don't start with that.
Well,
You know, and Goku will win, by the way. Anyway, yeah, Superman would be very tough to make as action movie. Now, Rocksteady, don't even bother with Superman. Go with somebody else. You know what I say they should do? They should make a fucking Wonder Woman game, because Wonder Woman is a God of War game right there, just with you know, Kratos with tits, basically. There you go.
With all of that.
Yeah,
all of that.
Greek mythology.
I love Wonder Woman.
I know we had a shitty game based on this, but I think it could work in a real game. Green Lantern, that would be good too.
That could work. Now, I think you were kind of getting somewhere with the escort mission point. Like, I agree that like a Telltale style game or Life is Strange for Superman, Jazzy EP made a great point about that. I think that would be really interesting because you'd have to make a lot of moral decisions about like Superman can move faster than anything, but he might not be able to move fast enough to like save these two people on opposite sides of the planet. You know, like that would be fucking really interesting. But
yeah, there you go. Exactly.
I would also love to see if there was a way to implement that in like a Arkham style game where you have to make those kind of decisions about who you help. And so like maybe there's a way, like I remember there was a Superman episode where of the animated series where the sun was being blocked out with like this red cloud and it was suppressing Superman's powers. So what if the game took place during that period when the sun was being blocked out? Oh, we can't hear you now.
My bad. Had myself on mute.
Oh.
Anyway, so check this out. I was thinking about this too, because that would only work in one game.
Exactly.
You know, it's like if you have the sequel, you're gonna have the same situation again where the sun is red. You know, it doesn't work. The only thing I could think of, and again, this would only be like a one game thing, because currently now, and remember I told you at the top of the podcast, I'm back at the comic books again, right?
Yes.
Been reading Superman. Superman is depowered again. So you could make a game like that where he's still strong, but if you shoot him, it's gonna hurt him.
Yeah.
You know, and he can't fly anymore, but he could jump really far. So you could make one game like that, but that's it, one game. People are good, because the thing is with Batman, what was great about Batman is you got to play the power fantasy of being Batman, and that wasn't a gimp Batman. That was the full-on, real deal Batman.
Yeah.
But Batman is a fucking fantastic video game character. Think about it. He's a regular man, but he's like super trained, right? He has gadgets he could upgrade. He has all these vehicles. He has this giant city to explore. He's like a template for a video game character.
Right.
Superman is not.
He's not. Superman is fundamentally designed to not have any limits as a character. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like the only way we can make it is like if you make him go back to old school Superman. I'm talking about Super Action Comics #1, where he could still get hurt like the way he is now. That's the only way. But people are gonna be like, "Come on, man! I want to fly around Metropolis punching shit." Yeah. You know, it's
buildings
tough.
and shit.
There are a lot of really talented people in this industry, right? If somebody could have made a really good Superman game, it would have been done. It would have happened, exactly. But then again, just to be fair, look how long it took for us to get a good Batman game. So
that's true. At least the Batman games that came before it weren't anywhere near as bad as the Superman game.
Shout out to Batman Returns on the Super Nintendo, by the way. That was a fun game.
Batman and Robin on Sega.
Batman and Robin on Sega, that was fun. It was difficult as fuck, though. That was a really hard game.
Yeah. But you're right about that. The Batman games have not been nearly as bad as the Superman games.
It's so true. And someone in chat, Blackstar actually just said Iron Man game would also be really interesting if they try to do that. Rocksteady, if Rocksteady did an Iron Man,
Rocksteady, right? Not the ones that Sega did.
No,
man.
Talk about Sega again. They didn't get their shit together.
Yeah, Iron Man game would be really good actually if Rocksteady did it. That would be good. I could see that happening. I could see that totally happening. You know, and now with current gen, you could have a huge, like maybe most of Manhattan, you could fly around in or something. You know?
Oh yeah, that would be dope. That would be so cool. Moving right along. So, Keiji Inafune is responsible for making Mighty Number 9. I'm excited about that. He has another game coming out called Red Ash, also on Kickstarter. I don't know if you guys had a chance to check it out, but it reminds me a lot of Mega Man Legends.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a problem with this game.
So let's get into it.
How are you gonna start another Kickstarter before the other one finishes,
Yeah,
man?
I know.
What the fuck? Like, let's finish. Let's get Mighty Number 9 out the door, right? I know Deep Silver has it now, but let's get that shit out the door first. Then we worry about the next game. And then you hear the rumors that Mighty Number 9 has been delayed.
Really?
Has it been? Yeah, like has it been delayed? Yeah. Has it been delayed because of Red Ash? Come on, man. What the fuck?
Damn, I didn't hear. But that's crazy.
Yeah, like okay, but apparently it's the physical one because like Amazon, Walmart, and Target. I don't know if I'm not sure about Target, but Amazon, and Walmart for sure. They delisted the game from 2015. They threw it back to 2016 now. You know, digital is still 2015, but that could change. So if that happens, if this game gets delayed, people are gonna be like, "Yo, is Red Ash responsible for this?"
I mean,
come on, man.
And if it is, it better be good.
They're only capable of doing so much as one small studio.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, come on, guys.
That ain't right. That ain't right. Okay, so with that context, I have a lot less respect for the project at this point. I'm really interested to see how this game kind of comes out. I mean, it looks like they're at the very beginning stages of the game development, so it's not like they've been like working on it for a long time or anything. They just have like really basic mechanic stuff going on. They're still deciding between some of that stuff, but this kind of harkens back to what I was saying about Capcom before. Is like they're so out of touch. Like they have money just waiting to be made with like Mega Man Legends, and Mega Man like side-scrolling X. Like I'm just confused. I'm confused as to like how they're seeing all this happen and they're still not doing anything with it. They're just like, all right, whatever, no big deal. No.
I don't understand these companies, man. It's another Japanese company too. It's like, come on, guys. It's like people want these games, and look at my man Igarashi. You know, he's making a Castlevania type game with Bloodstain.
Exactly. That's
because Konami isn't giving us what we want, man. I'm sorry, Lords of Shadow sucked.
Konami, man. Oh my god. Let's talk about Konami for just a quick second.
Oh man,
Konami is fucking up.
Yeah, yo.
That's just to be blunt.
God damn it. So Castlevania. Let's talk about fucking Silent Hills. That's not gonna that fucking playable teaser, by the way, was one of the most brilliant gaming experiences I have seen ever.
Yeah, it really was, man. I was scared shitless, man, playing that shit. Like, I finally finished it with, like, a group of friends. Like,
yes!
seven of us in the room, and I'm still scared, son. I'm like, nah, turn this shit off, man.
Dude, it was my birthday. It was my fucking birthday. We decided to play this. And I had a whole room of people in the room. And I had one guy on research because we couldn't figure out how to get past certain things. Mm-hmm. And there was a part where I looked out the window, and I was like, oh shit, did you guys see it? The whole fucking room was just like this. You were in the dark. Yo, man. I had never seen anything like that. And they revealed it as a playable teaser for Silent Hills. They didn't tell you what it was prior to it. And Konami fucking stopped the production of this game. They took it off of PlayStation Network. They went as far as to not let anyone who didn't already download it not be able to download it anymore.
Mm-hmm. I wish I hadn't downloaded it. Gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, that thing's staying on my hard drive forever, man. Like, I'm not letting it go.
Oh yeah, it's still on. It's still on. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but yeah, Konami, man, I'm not trying to get into that right now because they, like you said, man, they fuck it up like every single way they can, you know? And it's sad because I used to love Konami too, but come on, man, shit.
Zony Enders, Metal Gear, fucking Silent Hill, come on, man, Castlevania.
But I just want to let you know, sir, while I just typed in Konami on Google, somebody is on the first page.
Wait, what happened?
I just typed in Konami on Google because I was trying to see if I could find anything to say Konami's fucking up.
What'd you find, man? I gotta do this shit myself.
My man Willie Will on the first page, dog.
Oh, for real? Oh, shit.
Konami's out of touch with people who play their games.
Uh-oh.
Shit. Oh, shit. The hype train. The hype train is real.
Through the hype. And
wait, hold on. Is it showing you that result because I'm in like your history, or is it showing?
Yeah, because I'm not seeing that on my end.
Okay.
Oh, well, I don't know.
The first thing
What's favorite my shit, alright?
But yeah, Konami's fucking up.
Another news.
And the crazy thing too is that apparently I was on stream one day and I think I was playing Witcher, and one of my followers came in and was talking to me. He was like, Hideo Kojima left mad hints about him leaving Konami. So like there was that secret side mission where you had to go around erasing the Metal Gear logo off of the walls. I was like, oh shit, I didn't think about that. And like apparently there was like this other thing that happened. I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but like that mission where you had to go find Hideo Kojima, like there were like hints of him having to leave Konami, like in there. Like it was all over the place.
He's doing all this Metal Gear Solid shit anyway. Like I don't think it was ever his intention to make it to Metal Gear Solid 5.
No, it wasn't.
He's been trying to quit every single game, man. Every game since last one.
It's so true. I remember he said he made Metal Gear Solid 3. He named it that so that he can eat the Snake Eater series. He can close it out. And he was getting death threats. He was like, "You need to make another one, or I'll come murder your family." It was like, "Yo, guys, relax." I love Metal Gear and all, but jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I guess now that he'll be free at the end of the year. Maybe now he can make the type of games he really wants to make. Like obviously he loves making Metal Gear games, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure he wants to do something else, and now he will. And let's bring it back to the other news I got announced, because I've been saying this shit for a while. So apparently him and Guillermo del Toro are still in talks to make some. Remember, Konami doesn't own the license on scary-ass games. I still think they could make a Silent Hills game, maybe make the exact same game, just don't call it Silent Hills.
Because that could easily be a totally different game. That's
what I'm saying. You could still have Norman Reedus in there. You could still have all the same shit, the same basic shit. Just don't call it Silent Hills. Because this game was already very un-Silent Hills-ish to begin with. This wasn't like any other Silent Hills game before. So they could still do that. And, them saying that, yeah, we're still working together lets me know that my theory is correct. These guys will be putting out a scary-ass game under Kojima's new company, whatever that may be, next year. Mm-hmm. I guarantee that. Because come on, son, you're gonna tell me Kojima's gonna leave Konami and no one's gonna want to hire him?
No, not at all. If he doesn't make his own studio, he will get picked up immediately.
Yeah, exactly. Even if he does make his own studio, people are gonna be like, EA, Ubisoft, somebody's gonna be like, yo, can you work with us?
Let me just say this, man. You know how Microsoft got that exclusive deal for Tomb Raider. Sony got that exclusive deal for only timed exclusive deal for Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Sony got the exclusive rights to Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
If they hire Hideo Kojima, if Sony takes Hideo Kojima under one of their internal development studios, it is a fucking wrap.
Dude, it is a wrap. Whoever takes them, even if it's Microsoft, it's true. Done. That's true. I will buy an Xbox right now if that happens. Man.
I have an Xbox One. I will start playing it more if that happens. Like, real talk.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, whoever Kojima decides to go with, man, forget about it. It'll be over. But I still think he's going to make his own production company. And here's the thing, because there's a couple of ways. My brain's exploding.
I know. It's like, oh.
Okay, because here's the thing. He said it. He didn't like working with Konami because they give him too many restrictions, right? Yes. So if he decides to work with another partner with somebody, like let's say, for example, EA, right? It's gonna have to be like, yo, I'll work with you guys, but you can't tell me shit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But at the same time, if he does his own company, people are gonna be throwing money at him anyway. So he may not even need to fucking think about it like this. He owns the Fox engine. Konami doesn't own the Fox engine.
Own that?
That's what it hasn't been 100% confirmed, but apparently that's one of the reasons Silent Hills can't be made, because they don't have the engine anymore. Think about it like this: if Kojima has the Fox engine, he doesn't need any other studio. He has his own shit. He could sell that shit to other people.
That's crazy.
Konami needs him more than he needs Konami, apparently.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Konami needs him more. Trust me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're just going to focus on mobile games at this point, as far as I understand.
Man. Going back to what you said, man, Konami is fucking up.
Yep. And so that covers all of the gaming news section of the podcast. We had a lot of great things we already talked about. And I want to give this time to you guys for any guest topics that you wanted to introduce or talk about that we haven't already talked about.
I should have thought about this beforehand.
That's fine. We can
mean-
we can either just go off the top of the head, or we can go to the next topic, and then you'll have some.
I need to do that, you know.
Yeah, because the problem is, like, I think the main topic is, like, what the hell do you guys do, like, as far as games goes, when there are no games to play during the summer, man? We're in the middle of the summer drought. Like you asked me what game have I been playing, Street Fighter, 5, because that's it. Ain't nothing else. I finished Batman, and I'm like, all right, that's it. Ain't nothing else right now. Let me catch up on something else, some comic books or something. Now, obviously, this is probably a good time to catch up on old shit. Like, for example, I haven't played Witcher yet, but the problem is, I just came off of Batman. I'm not trying to play a big ass game again. Know.
Here's the thing.
I want to play. Don't get me wrong. I want to play, but at the same time, it's like, man, okay, I need a break. I need something small right now, man. It's too much.
There's
Did
two
you do
things.
Bloodborne already?
Huh?
Did you play Bloodborne?
Yeah, I got the platinum in that shit back in
Oh, you got platinum?
Yup.
You making me get hype. I need to get that platinum. And so here's
Bloodborne was the shit, man.
oh man, that game was fucking amazing. So here's what I'm doing for the summer drought: backlogs and indie games. Oh shit, Black Star is now following. Thank you for the follow, my friend. Hell yeah,
Hey,
that's what I'm
hey.
talking about. So there's another thing in the chat that I want to talk about after this, but Vanishing of Ethan Carter is a game that I had been looking out for a long time, and I just got the review code from their like PR marketing team. So I will be streaming and reviewing that game. That is definitely on my radar as something that I've been interested in for a very long time. Dude, Witcher 3, man. I know you don't want to get into something too crazy and heavy right now, but if that is like a perfect definition of like a summer game. Because like while there's not all these other distractions getting in the way, you can just focus on that and be set. We got Until Dawn coming. I'm not gonna buy it day one, but it's there. And I have a backlog of games, man. Like,
Yeah, I still need to play. I still haven't finished Nino Kuni. I've been talking about this for the past
Man,
I haven't finished that either. I have that.
Man, yeah, you need to get on that, boy.
I got Child of Light. I have not finished. Valiant Hearts. I have not finished. Transistor. I have not finished.
Fuck, you just named two games I need to get back on.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. You got games to get right back on. Infamous First Light. I haven't finished that.
I haven't finished that either. And then I bought on the Xbox. I do have both of those Metros.
Oh yeah, man. Yo, there's not that many games that came out recently, but like in terms
Plenty
of
of stuff to play.
there's so much shit that came out earlier in the year.
So I think that's what it is with summer. It's the best time to catch up on shit. Because the beginning part of the year is always like a game-mageddon, It's like too much,
So many games. And someone was asking if the Street Fighter 5 beta is today. I think it is supposed
It's still going. It's still going. Good luck getting in, but it's still going.
It is start button or any button simulator right now. You just
basically any button simulator, man.
But yes, Blackstar asked an amazing question. What's going to happen with Metal Gear Online?
Yeah, because Kojima is going to be gone by the end of the year, so is Konami going to be able to keep it up to standards and updates? That's the other thing. Is it going to be updated? All that shit. That's a great question. We don't know. At this time, Damn, that's a good question. I didn't think about that. You're right.
I thought about that a while ago, but like I kept seeing these posts on like Metal Gear forums saying like, oh, we're going to continue, updating the servers and continue being on top of that. And like I remember what happened with Metal Gear Online 2 when it came out with Metal Gear Solid 4. Like they took down the server after a while. Like, how soon into playing this game is that going to happen? Like, is there going to be someone else who takes the mantle? Because Kojima Productions is dismantling.
Yeah, they are dismantled. Actually,
Yeah.
They're
already gone.
The thing with online games is, look at Destiny as an example. You keep it going by constantly updating it. If you don't have the core team around, who's going to update the shit? How long is this going to last? Are they going to have it up for like 6 months and then close it down? I can't answer that question. I don't know. That's crazy. Because you're not going to have any support for it.
Exactly. And it really troubles me that like they're not really saying too much about it. Aside from like, oh, we will do this, but like, what are the details? Like, who's gonna do it? You haven't said
who's gonna? Man, shit.
And I'm so hyped for Metal Gear Online 3. Yeah, Metal Gear Online. Fuck.
Yeah, Online 3. Essentially, they keep calling it just Metal Gear Online, but yes, the third one.
Hang that one up.
Yep. Again, this Konami is fucking up.
Hey, oh man,
it never ends. Yeah,
because had he done, I would have never thought about it, and I would have been surprised if like we just never heard anything about it again. Like people would have been wondering like, when are Metal Gear Online supposed to be coming out? And like just the trail ends cold.
Yeah. Yo, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised that's what happens. The game launches in September and nothing ain't shit. What online? What are you guys talking about?
What are you referring to? Shit. It's like, yo, there was an article right fucking here talking about Metal Gear Online. Yo.
With the way we're here about the bitch.
Yeah, like what's an article? What are you talking about?
I'm looking at an article.
Oh, that's a great question that we can't answer.
Yeah, man. I wish we had an answer for that. That depresses the fuck out of me.
Shit.
Let's see if there's any other questions in the chat that we can answer on here. Talking more about the Street Fighter V beta. Guys, money in the bank from Japanese developers, like all these things seem like such easy things to fix. There's gotta be a reason why they aren't already. Like Japanese developers, for example, there's got to be a reason why they just have not understood how to make content. And
I mean, the thing is, it just seems like Japan in general, like, they were the kings of the video gaming industry. But as soon as the industry started going online, that's when they started being dethroned. It's like they don't really put enough like effort or resources into online. They don't seem to understand that this is the way of it's not even the way of the future. It's now. This is now. The online is now, guys.
Yes.
Like they don't know how to modernize. They don't really understand it, and it seems like they're hard headed, and trying to see how other people are doing it. Because let's just be honest, the Japanese have a history of not being very friendly to the Westerns. The Westerners. So they might be like, man, fuck that. We're gonna do our own thing. It's like, no, guys, this is the way now. You got to look to the people who are doing it right and try to use that to integrate with your own thing. Because obviously we want Japan to do their thing. Culturally, they're very rich and everything. But at the same time, they got to modernize and integrate some of the things everybody else is doing. They're not doing any of that shit. It just seems like they're like Nintendo. They're just in a little corner doing their thing.
They're not competing. They're not even pretending to compete at this point. It's kind of weird.
They're trying to do the same shit they've been doing for the last 15 years. Like, yeah, it worked 15 years ago. It's 15 years later. It ain't working anymore. You got to modernize, guys. Come on.
I will say this about Capcom, which is interesting, though, is that they've been hiring, and Square Enix, for example, has been actually a lot better about this. In terms of, like, they're making their games and also, like, hiring Western developers. And so, like, Capcom hired Ninja Theory to work on DMC, which, like, story-wise, I really hate that they kind of called it DMC. They could have made that a totally different and new game and it would have been fine, but they didn't.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. I'm going to say something blasphemous right now. That's probably my favorite Devil May Cry game because I was not the biggest fan of the last ones because it was like the story made no fucking sense to me. The new one, at least the story makes some kind of sense. But
this is true. Devil May Cry 3 made sense.
Yeah, that was the best Devil May Cry game before.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But yeah, Devil May Cry 1 was good too. 2 was shit. 4 was terrible.
Shit.
Yeah.
4 was fucking nonsensical. It made no sense at all.
Yeah.
They didn't even go through the trouble of explaining
nothing,
who
man.
Nero was in relation to any of that.
But yeah, you're right. Capcom, they're trying to, they try to work with Western developers. Another example is Bionic Commando, and we saw how that went. But then they get the idea. It's like, oh, when we work with Western developers, people don't like it. No, they want good games.
That's all they want.
They want good games. They don't care who makes it. And you're right. Square Enix is doing great things. Like they got Tomb Raider, they got Hitman, they got Deus Ex. Fantastic games.
Fantastic games. I love Tomb Raider so much.
Yeah. Now, granted, their online wasn't that good. The online portion was ass. Let's just be honest. But at least it was there and it worked.
Yeah. It worked for the most part, but it was very flawed.
it was like
laggy
a water.
Shit.
It was laggy. It was just uninspired. It was like Uncharted, but bad.
Yeah, exactly. Uncharted was fun. Uncharted was fun online, but one of the things that Naughty Dog does with their games is that they like to keep adding shit to their online experiences that kind of like make them worse. So like I remember they added extra perks and weapons to Last of Us, and those perks like totally broke the game. So I just stopped playing Last of Us online too much because I used to play that daily for months, And then they started.
JC Mack, man.
What do you say?
JC, you be on there with JC Mack.
Yeah, man. JC Mack, shout out to you, brother. I'm sure you're either watching this or listening to the YouTube version at some point. We used to play that shit all the time. And he still plays it all the time, but like it still bothers me that there's certain things in that game that exist. Certain perks and certain weapons. But
the salt.
Yeah,
I have a question.
Yes.
I guess it could be a topic. So what is it that the community or those of us that are like, I guess you could say, video game journalists and all that kind of stuff, what is it that we could do to make sure we can ensure that certain games come back? Because you and I have constantly talked about where's Onimusha? Where is it? And so there's so many games that should be coming out. Like, what is it, or how do you get to those channels to be like, hey man, you know, I'm pretty sure if you do this, everybody will love you. What do you do?
Here's the thing, man. I feel like there have been so many people already within who are in the deep inside of all this. Like we're on the inside in the sense that like we are actively talking to the community. We get responses from community managers from these companies, and like sometimes we get sometimes I've gotten interviews with people about these particular things, but I think there's certain people who are further on the inside of all of this who already have brought this up. These companies do not give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't, man. They really don't. Like some companies, they do care. Most don't. Yeah, come on. You're telling me that guys like Greg Miller aren't like trying to bring back these older games, talking to these guys?
Yes.
And no, they don't care about those guys. They really don't. Because they care about money. I mean, the franchise I would love to come back and okay, this hurts me. I want Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain.
God.
Now, the reason this hurts me is because they tried, I don't know if you guys heard the story, they tried to bring this shit back 6 times already. They canceled each game, and what we got left was Nosgoth. Nosgoth is terrible.
What is that?
Nosgoth is like an online only. See, my man's shaking his head. You know what's up. Okay, so they had they tried to reboot the series 6 times. They got to a certain point, they canceled the games, and then we got left with Nosgoth, which is like an online only PvP type game where it's like humans versus vampires. It's not good. I hate to admit this. I was supposed to preview this when I went to E3 last year, and I'm like, this game is shit. I'm not even bothering with this. This sucks. But yeah, man, it's hard for there's only so much we could do. Right. As people who are on the inside, because I've talked to a lot of developers myself, like, yo, bring this back.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, the developers themselves would love to bring a lot of these games back, but the publishers are like, hey, is they going to make us money? No? Who cares?
Exactly. And this ties into our final topic that's on the podcast agenda. But yeah, there's been multiple petitions for all this kind of stuff. There have been petitions all over the place for all the games we talked about today. Onimusha, Dino Crisis, fucking Otogi. Remember Otogi? Tenchu.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Dude, all these amazing games, Bushido Blade, all these games that were just amazing for what they did at the time, and if modernized and brought back into this new world of gaming, would most likely, if done well, do extremely well financially. But they don't want to hear that. They want to know. They want to know what already works exactly, and then just do that.
Yeah, exactly. They don't. They don't want to take any chances. They want to, just go with the sure thing. Right. And if it's not a sure thing, yeah. So it sucks because ultimately all this is in the hands of the publishers, and publishers only care about money. They don't care about creativity.
Exactly.
So I know that's not much of an answer, but I don't think there's not much we can do. Just keep screaming until somebody hears us, I guess,
Exactly. And so do you guys think we talked about Kickstarter, we talked about kind of the bullshit with the Kickstarter, KJ Inafune starting a new product before his old one's even done. Do you think that publishers are going to become irrelevant at any point? Do you think that's going to happen? Or I guess have a much less impact on the gaming landscape?
As far as AAA game goes, you need those big publishers to get your game out there, to get the advertising and all that stuff, As big as a Bungie is, I don't think they could afford by themselves just to throw up plasters of shit all over Times Square, you know? So for the big games, you're always going to need the big publishers. But I think we're going to see more of a rise of independent guys doing their own thing, you know, especially with Kickstarter. You see how Kickstarter is being successful now. But there's also a dark side of Kickstarter, because now you see companies like using Kickstarter that shouldn't be using Kickstarter. You know, like let's be honest, like, why is Shenmue on Kickstarter when you got Sony backing it? Sony, just give it your money, you know? So it's a little weird. And then I'm hearing stuff about Ubisoft trying to go on there. It's like, Ubisoft trying to go on Kickstarter?
How dare you?
How dare you? I think the Shenmue thing was supposed to be like, they wanted to still stay kind of independent. So they wanted to have like all of the decisions that they make about the game based on like what the studio itself wants, not necessarily what Sony wants. So I think that was like apparently part of the reasoning why they did that. But
better tap up that contract, right?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I see Kickstarter being used not as a crowdfunding thing, more of a gauging interest type of tool now. Okay, if we get $2 million, that means people like it. Now we're going to invest in it. Oh, it didn't make that much money. All right, we're not going to invest in it. Because remember, that money that you get from Kickstarter, that's not the full budget. You know, you already have investors lined up. They just want to see what the interest is.
Right.
And I see it being used more in that vein now. And that could be a problem.
That could be a problem. But, I mean, technically, those are just people, you know, a lot of those people who put that money down as like an early pre-order.
Yeah, but then, you know, on my podcast, we were asking, you know, actually one of my podcasters, Emilio Lopez, he has a good question. What if you put money to Project Cars, right? Because that was a Kickstarter game too.
Uh-huh.
And you put money towards, you wanted the Wii U version.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Kind of shit out of luck, aren't you?
Yeah, that's crazy. Damn, you guys in the chat are bringing in some real good ones, man. They got Prince of Persia.
Yeah, that needs to come back. Like Ubisoft, what are you doing? You know, come on.
They're focusing on Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Yeah.
I'm so over Assassin's Creed, man. And I ain't really played it. I've never really gave it much of my time. I played it once or twice. I'm like, I feel like it's a bit repetitive.
I played a lot of Assassin's Creed. I played 1 and 2. I played 3 as well. I didn't play Brotherhood. I didn't play the other one that came after Brotherhood.
I played every single one of them. I love Assassin's Creed. Then Unity came out, and the love is gone.
The love is so gone. So gone.
And I was the guy, when I heard, I'm like, wait, you're going to have 2 Assassin's Creed games in 1 year? Fucking, I'm there, man. And then they fucked up. It's like, all right, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe we step back from Assassin's Creed now, you know?
And they had that one Assassin's Creed that was like the side-scrolling one set in China. I was like, why couldn't you make that a full game, dude? Like, what are you doing? That would be amazing. I would play that.
Yeah,
I'll play as a female assassin set in China? What? You kidding me? That sounds amazing. Oh, man. Anyway, I only set up the time for us to talk until an hour and a half. We can continue if you want, but either way, I want to thank everyone who is watching on stream and also people listening at home on iTunes or YouTube. I want to thank you all for tuning in, for hanging out. Do you guys want to continue, or do you want to?
I'll hang out for a little bit. I am getting a little hungry.
I'm getting hungry as shit.
Well, I mean, this is a good place to cut it off, I guess. You know, this was a really fun podcast, man. Thank you for having me on, man.
Dude,
awesome.
I would be delighted to have you on again. You were a great guest. You know your shit, and that is extremely important for a podcast, to know the content, to know just the energy is good.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I do this shit twice a week, man. I got 2 podcasts. I always got to bring it hard. And we got to have you on our podcast too, man.
Hey, man, just
both you guys, man.
Let me know when, and I got you.
Awesome.
So let the people know at home once again, what your podcast is all about, where they can find it, and also you, Dream, since you were MIA.
I was MIA a little bit.
All right, like I said, I write and work for the Koalition.com. That's Koalition with a K.com. I do podcasts. That's Throwdown. We also have like the Throwdown show on Twitter. You know, we have links. We go up twice a week. We go Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, and Sunday night, that's Throw Down Your Questions, where we just have people asking us a bunch of shit. Those shows get wild too, man, because people ask some crazy ass questions.
That's awesome. So what would you say is like the wildest question? The wildest question you've got?
Damn. I can't point to one because we've gotten so many, but usually the ones that elicit us to say something bad about one specific console, trap us like, damn it, man, you guys got us, like usually about Microsoft, like, hey, what would you say about a company that forces people to get into DRM in a $500 console? Wouldn't you say the console that's $400 is a better console? It's just like that. It's like, fuck.
I don't know how to respond to that.
And then we do respond to it, and then people get mad at us. And then on top of that, like once a month, we do Otanime. That's our anime podcast, which is a lot of fun. New episode coming next week, by the way. We're going to be talking about Sengoku Basara, if you guys know that one. And then obviously Huh?
What's that in English?
I don't even know. That's the name of the anime, Sengoku Basara. I think it's Samurai Kings. There's a video game on it. It was a video game first from Capcom, and then they made it into anime series. Because every month we have one of the guys, we have 6 guys on the show, pick an anime that we want to talk about collectively for the next month. So I never even, I saw Sengoku Basara, the video game. It just seemed like Dynasty Warriors, and I hate Dynasty Warriors. I'm like, fuck this shit. But we had to watch it for the anime. But the anime's good. I like it.
Really?
Yeah. And
one thing I noticed, animes are starting to go that faux 3D look a lot now.
Yeah, a little bit.
A lot of them coming out with that look, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah. Some of it's pretty good, though, when they do it.
Nice in Sidonia.
Yeah, that's just Sidonia, yeah. That's a good one. But yeah, I'm old school, man. I like anime from back in the day, like Ninja Scroll and Ghost in the Shell. That stuff. That's the stuff I like. But yeah, that's the shit I do. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have links to me. Twitter. I'm always on Twitter talking shit. I'm very entertaining. I've been told. I just go off seriously, 90% of the time I just say the first thing that's on my mind. Unfiltered.
For better words, right?
Or you can see me go off on a rant about Street Fighter.
Man, oh my God, my level of frustration. One of the guys who just jumped in here, King Radnow, for example, I'm going to give a shout out to you, brother, because you've been my go-to people. I had to tune into his stream yesterday because I was going to try to stream. This is me just being naive as fuck. I was going to try to stream Street Fighter 5 using the PlayStation app.
Nah, son.
And so fucking, you can't get... I had to have his shit up on my screen to see if he was able to get in. But he was doing it from his PC, and I was watching him pressing the button to try to get in. He was talking to the community. He was talking to everybody. I saw him pressing that shit from that long. And I was like, you got any updates for me, man? You got any updates? He comes into my chat and he was like, yo, man, I'm just letting you know they're letting people in right now, but by the time you get in here, you probably won't be able to get on. And so I saw him in the training room. And I was like, oh, he got in. So I left playing Witcher 3, got on Street Fighter, and I was there for a half hour. I was like, damn, this is a mistake.
Wow.
This was not a good thing to do. The rage is real. Yeah, DBZ goes, oh yeah, I forgot about the Street Fighter 5 beta. J2 Flies, right, we both got gaps. Gap Nation, what's up? What's up? What's going on? I'll make that gap work. That's right.
Hey, me too, man. What's up?
Right, that's right.
Hey, this shit has a name, the Polanco Gap. Everybody in my family has this shit.
and let people at home know, Dream. Well, first of all, can you tell people what your Twitter handle is for people listening on iTunes instead of in the description? Tony?
It's wrong. It's a habit. I always go on mute, because with audio, when it comes to audio, you got to do it just right. At Romudeth, that's ROMUDETH. So yeah, follow me on Twitter. Trust me, I always have good shit for you guys. Either I'm pimping my stuff, or like I said, 90% of the time I'm just rattling off crazy shit about comics or video games or something, whatever. Especially when I head out to the city, Manhattan. That's when things get interesting because Manhattan people. There's always interesting things, so I just start rattling off about that.
All day.
Or people sitting next to me on the bus just eating a whole pizza. It's like, what are you doing, man? In New York, man.
That's awesome. And Dream, where can people check out your content?
Well, we got a couple of things you can check out. We do have the website, gamehowl.com, GAMEHOWL, for the Howl podcast. We do also do podcasts, so that'll be YouTube /gamehowl. Not the gaming and howling. Don't look at them because they're trying to bite our style. So, but it's all Game Howl. We do have a Twitter, twitter.com/Game Howl. And for me, this is all all right through Game Howl. But I have started up streaming stuff on Twitch. So twitch.tv/Dream Manifested. You can rock with me if I'm playing Arkham Knight, Duty. Might play some Witcher. We play all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So definitely check us out.
Hell yeah. And again, guys, obviously you are locked into the Black Oni channel as we speak, whether you are watching on Twitch, twitch.tv/Black Oni, or youtube.com/JBlaze06. I can't change that to Black Oni because fucking reasons. And there's social media down below. You can check all that stuff out. There will be information on the YouTube link to all of their stuff, so you can check that out. I want to, again, thank you guys so much for being a part of the podcast. This was a ton of fun. It's always a good time, but I'm really happy I can get you guys on here, especially you, Tony, because I've been wanting to try to make some space for a new guest on the podcast, and every time I tell my usual people, they're ready, they're like, yeah, let's go. I'm like, damn, I already got 4 people.
Yeah, no, like I said, man, it was a lot of fun, man. Making me get up early on a Sunday. It was worth it, man. It's fucking great. Let's do this again.
Yes, absolutely. Dream Manifested. You gotta wake up a little earlier than we do.
Man, look, see, usually I'm at work on Sundays anyway, so I mean,
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like, y'all lucky to have me here, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Usually I'm at work like, thank you for calling. How can I help you today?
Now you're doing something real fun, actually.
Now I'm doing something real fun,
My ass needs to get in the shower because I have not showered yet.
Yeah, same here.
I'm like sweaty and shit. I'm
I
like,
see the stank waves. I see the stank waves a little bit.
Uh-oh.
that's just motion graphics. Don't worry
That's just
about
the aura. That's just your aura.
It's that Oni, man. It's coming out of us. That's Oni power.
And thank you guys at home who are hanging out. And as always, I will catch you on the next podcast or review or video, whatever the fuck. Game on. J Blaze out.
Peace.
Yes, I'm gonna stop the recording right